And hailing frequencies are open. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Shield of Tomorrow, the show where we talk about the Matrix. Yes. Today we're discussing the hot button topic of the Matrix films and how Amy Dallin would save us all from the second and third film.
Yep. Aww.
Yeah, somehow
you'd find a way.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody learned a lot making those.
She did. She just suggested to watch Speed Racer.
It's true.
What Amy
I hear that
literally
Speed Racer is a
did.
palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Yes.
She knows Kung Fu.
Hi everybody, welcome to our little Star Trek RPG show that we have been playing here for, guess what guys, 45 episodes.
What?
Yeah, this is episode 45.
Oh good, I lost count, so that's good to know.
Yeah, I don't know if we've necessarily played our campaign for 45 episodes because I know we've missed, but this is episode 45 of Shield of Tomorrow.
Wow.
It's pretty nuts. Here we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what else I love about Amy Dallin?
What do you love?
Stop it!
Yeah.
Such an attentive listener.
Yeah.
If you look at her when you were speaking just now, she does this thing.
So focused.
So
totally. I bet you she made every teacher feel so special in school.
I bet you. Yeah, she was every teacher's favorite.
Every teacher, yeah.
ADD kids, your options are hyper focus and leave.
It's true. That is absolutely
I got
how
lucky
ADD works.
and got the coping skill early, I think.
I got the other one.
Yeah.
I got the other one. Okay, so just a few announcements today. One is a quick announcement about how cool Amy Dallin looks in blue lipstick.
That's so real.
That's something else.
Great announcement.
Teal lips. Yeah, because they modified. So, yeah, she modified lipstick.
There's a whole color family of lipsticks that Amy Dallin has mastered.
Yeah. And it also says here for our announcements that Gina is going to say something nice about Amy Dallin in a few seconds.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Wait, when did you put the red in your hair?
Don't derail
You did though, right? You did.
Maybe, but
That's
no.
also how ADD works.
You don't get to
I
literally just notice it.
Amy knows how to hijack compliments.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna let you.
And we love that about Amy because she's great at hijacking compliments. Wouldn't you all say?
Yo, stop it.
Yeah.
Ever since I met you a long time ago, you're
Yeah.
my future girl forever.
The reddest
adore you.
blue alien
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah,
No,
there's
but
so much
okay.
blush is happening.
All right, I'm sorry. We're gonna rein it in.
I'm really not
All right, so real quick, so the rest of the announcements, just that we are going to wish Amy a happy birthday! Hey! Amy Dallin a big freaking mother cake! Happy birthday!
Yes.
Because you know what else I love about Amy Dallin is Amy Dallin appreciates chocolate cake.
This is true.
Yeah, and I love that about that. Go ahead, let's make a wish. Go,
Oh my god.
You guys sing happy birthday.
Oh,
Shut up, producer Max.
Is that public domain? It is now.
It is not. It's owned by Michael Jackson. We're going to be sued.
Happy birthday to you.
Things I love about Amy Dallin.
Happy
Is that she covers her face when you sing happy birthday to her.
Amy.
And she sways.
Happy birthday to
I also appreciate how Amy Dallin never catches her clothes on fire when she's blowing out a cake.
Yeah.
Let's see what she
Very
does
rarely.
now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a card.
Buy chocolate
What
cake.
is this?
Yeah, it's
It's a card.
a card. We had like
We got
Too
it. We
many
almost
people
got her.
signed it.
Definitely
So
no one
there's
paid
more
attention
than one card.
there's a little too many. Unfortunately cards come with limited amount of space.
Yeah.
We had to add more cards.
So there's lots
We had
more
to
card.
include some card. Yeah. We had to
ran
include
out.
some card.
We
on
still
there.
could have
Now
used a
read
little bit
all
more
of it
space
out
for that.
loud. Just kidding. No, don't.
Happy Sweet 16, Sam Riegel.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yes.
Got her.
We did it!
Everybody.
Our goal, that's
must-
a horrible goal.
Yes.
Right, why do we want to do such a thing to such a beautiful person?
She must have
Hector
read
drew in it.
a really nice thing. Yes, I did.
It's really good.
I'm not gonna look at your private things, but oh my gosh, it's so cute.
That's the secret.
I don't know if there's any reasonable way for me. I'll take a picture of it later and
Yeah.
I'll show you guys.
So I think one of the best things we can say about Amy Dallin is she is absolutely, deservedly the person who inspires this much love.
Yeah.
She is the most lovable person in the Gorham Galaxy.
I
We're
think-
Starfleet. We've looked.
Yeah, to Amy.
The takeaway.
To Amy.
The takeaway is yes. I think the takeaway is thank you for being born, Miss Dallin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good work.
Yeah.
She's the best of
Gain
us
a
all,
momentum.
hands down.
You know
Hands
what?
down.
Start tonight with one momentum, everybody.
Oh, we did it.
We already had one. Can we have two? Thank
Fine,
you.
take
Let's
two.
take this.
It's Amy's
right.
birthday.
Yeah.
It is a day of beneficence.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for that quick intro. The only other announcement I was going to say to everybody real quick before we get underway tonight
She's like
is
mad
that
at it. She's mad at this card.
I love that.
That's her happy face.
so nice.
That's her happiest face is when she looks angry.
Yep.
She rage happies. So the last announcement, real quick, before we get into tonight, is also just that I've been getting a lot of the messages. We are keeping track of the fan mail that's coming in, so don't worry about that. We're going to be doing another run here pretty soon. So if you're wondering where your package comes in and why haven't we had another episode of Sam Loses Their Shit, that's why. So we'll be
And more
getting
things to make Amy make faces.
Yes, we need more rage Amy in our lives.
That is the best barbarian archetype ever.
Amy, I would like to rage.
Amy, no!
Amy, love everything.
So without further ado, now that we've had our fun, yes, Sam.
It is Amy's birthday.
Yes.
And we get to spend it with her and be her friends. And if that doesn't make you excited, I don't know what does.
That's a fair point. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get into tonight's episode of Shield of Tomorrow. Just saying that it took a nosedive. Seriously nosedived just 10 minutes into the Matrix sequel. Is all I'm saying.
Eric.
It was just
And also happy birthday.
because they obviously had to power
It all
Neo
comes full
down
circle.
dramatically.
You're not
It
wrong.
would've
Do
been-
me
it
a
would've been
favor.
Dragon Ball Z.
Watch Speed Racer this weekend.
I know. I need to
Yeah,
watch Speed
yeah.
Racer.
really want to
Do
hear
it.
your thoughts.
Yes.
I want to watch Speed Racer.
Whether
There's
you
no
like it or
doubt.
not.
There's no doubt the Wachowskis are brilliant. I just, you know. Anyway, all right. Hi, everybody. We're gonna do some Star Trek now.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and do a quick recap of where we left off, because the crew of the USS Sally Ride finds itself in an extraordinary mystery right now that is slowly unraveling. The main mystery, real quick to our audience, sorry, one big announcement. We were just so ready for it that I completely forgot to bring this up, but yeah, Elisa's not here tonight.
She pops out of the cake.
Yeah. Hello. So Elisa is on her way to Puerto Rico for the Puerto Rico Comic-Con. So she's getting to go hopefully visit some family, and she's going to go down there. Yeah, Nerdist Center down there, so she gets to go hang and work at the same time. At
That's
Puerto Rico
crazy
Comic-Con. So
awesome.
So she'll be back next week. In the meantime, the crew of the USS Sally Ride, having uncovered this planet with this ancient history, a race that used to live on this planet, they call themselves the Dulagari. The Dulagari were an ancient species that apparently contributed to their own extinction. They made themselves highly vulnerable, and then the dice just rolled poorly in their favor. A civil war attracted the attention of...
wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you. You rocked it last game. Yeah, in fact, it was the incredible computing skills of Lark and then the crazy computing skill rolls of one Mala Ren that actually unlocked
Yeah, we good.
what the
Wonder Twin Bread.
what the catalyst was for the extinction of the Dulagari, on top of a civil war that ignited apparently over the arrival of what is being called the Eye of the Gods, but what you guys know to be the Orb of Journeys. It was just enough to drive a race that was in a fragile moment in its history where science and religion were really struggling against each other. The arrival of the Orb of Journeys set off a chain reaction. And it ultimately ended up in a civil war, making the species vulnerable, which attracted the attention, supposedly, if that's what it was. But the arrival of the crystalline entity is what sealed the deal.
I actually just shivered IRL.
Yeah, the crystalline entity is has since been destroyed, but so far, as you know. But the in Star Trek Align, it does come back rather dramatically, but that's another story. But in this timeline, the crystalline entity was responsible for the final tip over the edge that brought this species spiraling towards extinction 2,700 years ago. It seemed like they were on the verge of technological greatness. Maybe this would have been a Federation founding race, for all you know. Out here in the Shackleton Expanse, it's hard to say, but maybe one day this would have been the next Strethia. As it were, this race has been wiped out for eons. It looked like they were just hitting their technological breakthrough point where they were getting into interstellar travel. They had just learned how to travel outside of their solar system. They had constructed an incredibly huge space station, roughly a little bit larger than Starbase 1 back on Earth, which has since been destroyed. You managed to find a piece of it floating loose in the solar system, sort of like in this dead zone where the gravitational pull of both the sun of the system and the rotation of the planets in the system as well have kind of kept it locked in a sort of stationary, like a slow orbit around the star. This blue star illuminating it, you all found this huge piece of wreckage, which is kilometers wide, and have been investigating it ever since. Having unraveled some of the mysteries of this species and some of the remains that you have found of this species, of the Dulagari, you've also come to learn that the station was once called Otulamek, which was the Dulagari word for Horizon 2. This was their great experiment, a symbol of peace, and it became one of the hotbed battlegrounds for the Civil War, because apparently whoever was going to control Horizon 2 had a lot of power, so to speak. What you've managed to uncover so far is that apparently, at one point in time, the Orb of Journeys made it to this station, where, according to a very cryptic message, you've managed to put together that someone took the Orb of Journeys and fled with it.
But we don't know that because it could be in the shuttle.
It's possible that it's somewhere here on the station, but for sure it made it off of the planet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's looks like somebody basically was trying to get it away. What you have discovered is that it's very likely either on the station or it has been on the station. Wherever it is, the trail has led you to here. You have taken the Arrow Wing, which is essentially a large runabout that detaches from the bottom of the saucer section of the USS Sally Ride on her first journey since you guys have had her. And guiding her into the wreckage, you have managed to get a little bit closer for some really detailed sensor scans to all of the different levels of this huge piece of wreckage that's just floating freely in space. Deck after deck after deck, you are detecting signs of bodies and organic matter that has decayed. A lot of it probably, some of these people probably got into their spacesuits, which caused rapid decay after they were killed. But when vacuum is allowed into a suit, it preserves the body. So as a result, you are actually detecting more specimens, much like the one you have in your sickbay right now, the doctor.
Omatai.
Right. So, right now, the Arrowwing shuttle has come to stations keeping just outside one of the largest breaches in the side of this station. Light shining down into the multi-decked layer is creating a haunting image of what looks like just ancient runes that are floating amongst the stars. And you're seeing rooms, levels, hallways, corridors, things that are very familiar to spacefarers like yourself. You can see how they lived just based off of the layouts that they had in every single tier of the station. It's haunting how similar it all really is. This could have easily been like a deep space station for the Federation. Quadruple the size, but still. And you are seeing debris kind of, as debris does in space, where it just kind of attaches itself to these large objects and dangles there for eternity. It's always eerily quiet here in space. And being amongst this wreckage that's been floating here for 2,000 years, it feels even more so. Imagine what it must have felt like for the crew of the Alvin when they first discovered Titanic underneath the water. the dead silence, the celebration at first, and then the realization that they're actually on a graveyard, the dead silence that comes with it. It's kind of the same atmosphere that's kind of fallen on all of you. This ancient race, this ancient graveyard. And inside this station somewhere, supposedly, is the secret that might unravel where this Orb of Journeys is, which, in turn, might be what's going to point you to the mystery of what is behind the pull.
Yeah.
The last scan, where we left off, is you've detected there is a shuttle bay that is intact. It does have a body inside the shuttle. Piece of information I should have probably included in the last game. But there is a body inside the shuttle. There is a shuttle floating freely, and it looks like the doors have been blasted open. After a quick scan, that was one of the points of interest you were able to detect. And the shuttle itself seems like it's mostly operational, but it is floating freely, and it has no power source. Again, 2,700 years of no use. That's where we start tonight's game. There is a transporter pad here in the Arrow Wing. The Arrow Wing is large, so it's going to get trickier the closer you get, and eventually, when you get to like feet away from the station itself, you're going to have to disembark because you're not going to be able to fly it in there. The only place you can fly the Arrow Wing in right now is it looks like the main habitat ring, which is large open space. And sensors are actually giving you a very detailed map of what it looks like going through there. There's not as many obstructions.
If we got close enough to the shuttle bay, could we just transport over there?
You can transport.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
What is the status of the systems on the station? I'm assuming that there's no artificial gravity, that there's no atmosphere, that it's just been floating
That's
dead
right.
in space for 2,700 years, correct?
Yeah. There's nothing. It's just a hulk.
Can
Just
we
a metal hulk in space.
infer from any of the extant pieces of this station what kind of power source it would use? Like, could we use warp core, an auxiliary warp core,
To bring it back online, to bring the station back,
or at least to try to bring something like the shuttle back online?
Yeah.
Scanners haven't detected anything like that, but if you want, we can do what I would basically consider an intuition check. And
like that.
We could tractor
I would be
beam the
happy
shuttle
to
back
solicit
the shuttle.
the intuitions of our fine
engineers.
engineering staff.
yeah.
That's a great idea.
Talon is here, by the way, and it actually would make sense for Talon to actually be manning the sensor station.
Yeah.
So this is an excellent reason where Talon can stay on board the Arrow Wing if you all want to have an away mission.
Sure.
And she can basically stay behind and man the
the
powerful
sky.
sensors. Yeah, eyes in the sky, basically.
in the sky.
She is your oracle.
It's great. Again, Eric, with the
By the way-
Matrix references, you really got to let it go, man.
I'm sorry, man. I
15 years ago.
No. That was a DC reference.
I better be birds
Oh,
of
okay.
I want to right there.
But you know what? That's fair because I've been talking about Matrix all night.
Barbara Gordon, cool.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
of course.
Talon's our
No
Oracle.
joke. Barbara Gordon, favorite DC character.
Yes. Great,
Oracle
excellent.
was my favorite DC character.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fun
God, we
fact.
can't talk about Oracle.
I know.
That does me a lot, Eric.
I know.
Fun fact,
Okay, sorry.
small sidetrack. I did the voice of Oracle in a Batman film. Yeah.
Everyone's like leaning in.
Yeah. And so whenever, like, all the YouTube comments, like, when people watch it, because it says, Oracle, Bonnie Gordon, they're like, oh, yeah, like, that's her real last name.
Real quick, before we jump back into the game, I'm going to give a quick plug to Teal Shearer, who did My Gimpy Life. She did a comedy series about
good.
Oracle and how pissed she was that they had taken her, that they had changed her.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious. If you
Oh,
find
I
it on
need to
YouTube,
see
I highly
that.
recommend it.
A bunch of her videos on her own channel.
So,
Super choice.
yeah. they're
Okay,
all
sorry.
great.
That was
Okay,
sidetracked.
so whoever wants to do it, Bonnie, you could have Lark do it, or Ren, she can do it. It's up to you guys, but I would say insight engineering.
Yeah. I think it's the same.
I'm gonna take a look.
Okay.
Can I
Go ahead
assist?
and roll insight engineering. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Please do.
And we'll make it the same roll, insight
Okay,
engineering.
cool.
Did soliciting that intuition count as a command assist I can offer them?
I'll let you do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the difficulty?
It's only gonna be 2, so this is a good
Great.
opportunity to beef up. Or no, let's make it 1 because this is just an intuition kind of thing. So difficulty 1.
or
This will be a good chance to beef up on some momentum.
Just to guarantee possible extras. Thank
Sure.
you.
Okay.
Teal.
Pretty sure your jury rigging focus will come in handy here.
We're hoping.
I really want to see one of those legal episodes
Yeah,
of Star Trek where you use a different kind of jury rigging.
I don't need it, but it's okay. So I can't use it.
3, 2, 1 from me.
Oh,
1.
Go for it.
should I?
I mean, is that counting right now?
It's not a bad one.
Did we know the difficulty?
It was
One.
one.
It was
Okay,
one.
cool.
So we got 3 momentum.
We did real good.
Chance of
I have a good chance.
benefiting from this reroll.
I will try to reroll.
Okay.
If this goes
If this
poorly.
goes wrong, it was my fault.
Happy birthday, Amy. You get this.
I love you.
And now credit to Amy.
Thanks, Doc. Okay, you're right. I didn't look into that. You're right. Let's look into that. So that's 2, 3, 4 from me.
Okay.
4, 5, 6. So we have 5. We have maxed out on momentum.
Maybe some
Okay.
questions if you want.
Well,
Well
I'm not
done.
surprised. We have a stellar engineering team, especially Chief. She's absolutely been crushing it lately. Keep up the good work, Chief.
Yeah, they're stars.
Thanks, Captain.
So looking at
They're stars.
yeah, actually yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at the blueprints and what you basically what you have of like scans and whatnot, and what you know about the sabotage that destroyed this place, it's very likely that the sabotage probably occurred in the engineering section and that was blown apart completely. However, it's very likely that the shuttle runs on the same power that the station used, much like you all have a warp core in your starship. There are small warp cores inside shuttlecraft. So you could probably find out more. And just from a quick scan, with that many successes, I'll go ahead and give you. I would say spend 1 momentum for this one. I
Sure.
think.
Ow. Yep.
So, a quick look around inside the shuttle bay. You would see that this species had just begun to master low-grade antimatter combustion, much in the same way that the early warp cores of Earth. Let me put it this way. This would be like original series warp core.
All right.
So maximum speed would have probably been like warp 2 or 3.
They were very advanced for 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They were doing all right. It's probably why it was so easy for them to destroy themselves.
Yeah.
So you are detecting those pieces of tech, yeah. So it is very possible, based off of what you have already experienced, linking technology of the Federation to this alien species technology, again, 2,000 years old, you've actually managed to be able to cause a coupling to take place where you've been able to extract data.
Right.
It's very likely you can use the knowledge that you've got to do what the captain is suggesting and power this place up.
Well, I believe that was the commander's suggestion.
Oh, was that the
but
commander's
still,
Very gracious of you, sir.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
I would love to get into that shuttle and kind of
Okay.
fiddle around.
All right, Ensign, then let's go ahead and do it.
Either that or we can track
Talon takes the
leave it back
transporter
to the
controls.
celluloid.
Please do. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Commander. If you wouldn't mind, if you would be so kind as to be our Barbara Gordon, if you will, and stay on the ship. It's an Earth character from popular culture. She's very
He's on Earth for a while, I think.
inspirational.
Yes, now I remember.
That's right.
Academy time.
Yes.
Talon, however, just stares at you blankly and says, "Yes, Captain."
To relay us any information, continuing the scans, that sort of thing.
Understood.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Commander. All right, so everybody has got their suits.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was already in mind. So excited.
Everybody's suited up.
I saw a
Try
shuttle.
and turn on some ancient tech.
Let's do it. And let's try to find the location of this orb. If it was in fact here, and if it's no longer here, where did it go, right? That's what we're looking for?
Hi, sir.
All right,
Yes, Captain.
let's go.
All right. It takes a few minutes. There's
Energize.
only one transporter pad. There's really just, it takes a few goes, but eventually you all beam on board. And where you beam is actually about 100 meters away from the lip of one of these ruptures that separates the station from the great vastness of space.
Okay.
And just hovering about 100 kilometers away, you see the arrow wing that you just beamed from. And far, far beyond the arrow wing is the unmistakable sight of the USS Sally Ride at station's keeping. Caught in the light,
Ensign, I don't think-
the blue glow of blue
They
sun.
will be. So we're floating in space now?
No, I'm assuming you guys are mag locked
Gravity.
onto the.
Yes,
Gravity
that
boots.
is what I wanted
Your
to
grab
clarify.
boots have probably activated. So remember first contact, how you're able to walk around. It
Simulate
does-
this, yes.
Yeah. So y'all are there looking back at the shuttle. The shuttle's angles its light column just kind of up in front. So Talon kind of angles the ship so you guys can use it to see. And your tricorders attached to your arms immediately activate, and you can see scans all around you. You're getting a complete readout of like debris that's floating by, rooms that are nearby. There are a couple of bodies. You are detecting some organic matter here. Some of the organic matter looks like it's actually fused into the walls, probably from an explosion.
Makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of It must have been it must have been the equivalent of a few warp core breaches taking place that powered the station.
If anybody picks up anything on their scanners that they want to investigate, don't hesitate to share with the rest of the class.
I would love a chance to get into that shuttle, Captain, and
Ensign.
pull open a console
you
or two.
Said that multiple times.
I know.
We're
I
on
just
our
wanted
way.
to
We're heading there
make
right
sure
now.
you were quite aware.
Yep, we're all aware.
This
Ensign.
is like an
I mean, if you're not
antique car
feeling
show.
enthusiastic, Sage, we can always send you back onto the Colorado.
Thank you.
I'm interested in the pilot we found on the scan earlier. 1 sample is good, but 2 is better.
In the shuttle, yep. So am I.
Maybe you should go
Very
in first, then,
statistically
Doctor.
significant.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I said maybe you should go in first, then, Doctor.
Right. Okay.
It's about 300 meters to the shuttle bay from where you're standing.
Okay.
Let's go.
We are popping and locking our way over there.
All right.
Locking and
Captain, what
unlocking.
are you doing?
Huh? I find that it helps to maintain my balance, equilibrium.
Your experience on Regula has kind of...
Is this wrong? Am I doing
No,
that
that's a
wrong?
gift, Bonnie. That's called a gift. That is getting gift.
Oh no! Is that clear?
Human locomotion is very strange.
I've turned the mag lock on my boots off, and I'm just doing my crutches on.
Well,
So I want to moonbound.
Okay. My impression is that, so in order to be a functioning officer for these kinds of away missions, my impression is those crutches have that capacity.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I don't have to have the mag boots on as long
Yeah,
as I have
yeah,
the
yeah.
mag on the crutches.
That's cool.
Which is actually, because of your mobility factor with the crutches, you're actually getting a little more, you do notice that Rue with these crutches is actually giving them a little more dexterity here than you guys have. And as they're moving throughout, it's easy to just sort of kind of move around the corner. You're actually mag-locking onto like walls and swinging around the corner.
I'm having a real good time with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is a little less restrained than you might see Rue usually be.
It's like a badass dance.
It's like playing Lucio in Overwatch.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
That, yes.
So, so as y'all are moving, we're just breaking out the references.
Wow.
Today. As y'all are moving through this area, again, it is, if you can try to imagine those silent moments as y'all are shining lights on desks, workstations. Some of these look incredibly well preserved considering the vacuum. You are seeing, there's no dust here, obviously, so you are seeing particulate in the air floating in the light beams that are coming off the shuttle, but mostly you just see stations that look like somebody just got up and walked away from them. It would be the space equivalent of Pompeii. It looks like people could still live here. And as you're moving through, you do occasionally see like somebody gently floating by. Some of them are in their spacesuits. Some of them look like spacesuits have ruptured. If there are any non-suited bodies, you're not saying that, but you see about 2 bodies at least. One of them is off far into the distance, floating in like the open space of the habitat ring. It's a little speck just kind of gently spinning. Another one looks like it's here in the hallway, and it's just eerie how it's against the ceiling in the corner, just hanging there. The glass covering of it looks like the covering of glass is, for whatever reason, is completely blackened on the inside. So it's haunting. It looks like there is a ghost just hovering in the corner.
I'm not gonna lie, it rattles my nerves a little bit. It rattles Martinez's nerves.
Yeah. And you see markings on it as well, denoting rank. From what you pulled off of the database, this would have probably been an equivalent of lieutenant. But it also has a different symbol on, maybe like a different faction symbol that looks like it's kind of worn away on one of the exterior parts of its suit.
Or maybe a different nation or country or group. Yeah.
Tribe.
I'd love to scan it.
Okay, you go ahead and scan. I would say this would be a difficulty 0.
Cool.
So if you just want to go ahead and get your that one momentum back. Oh, you just, yeah, okay. Spin that momentum. So yeah, difficulty 0, and this is going to be reason medicine. As you run the scan.
3 successes.
I was gonna 3 20s.
Yeah,
The station
it's
explodes.
possible.
All right, so 3 successes. So, giving a quick scan, looks like cause of death is kind of hard to make out. It could have been. It looks, judging from like the scan, there's a lot of toxicity that was probably present in the system. Which, again, is incredibly well preserved. It does not look like there was a soup breach though, so the bacteria on the inside of the body probably ate the body, as it happens with decay. The bones are mostly intact, but the inside of this suit is not really. There are bones, but the inside of this suit is basically mostly empty, and is just lined with dead bacteria.
Can I gather anything about the individual from the skeleton as compared to the one that I have back in sickbay?
Mm-hmm. The only information you're able to get with the surface scan is that it is a member of the same species. It is one of the Dulagari.
I'm recording everything I can.
Okay, you logging that away.
We press on.
There's really nothing to stop y'all making your way to the shuttle bay. There's a few obstructions that are easy for Rue to literally just maglock onto and pull away and send it floating down into the hallway. But as y'all move closer and closer to the shuttle bay, you're seeing some really unusual signs of battle that probably took place. Scoring on the walls that look like energy weapons probably made their way through here. You are detecting signs of organic matter. It looks like somebody may have been disintegrated in this hallway at one point. It looks like it's fused. It could have been from the energy weapons. It could have been from the explosion. But as you make it to the shuttle bay, the doors are actually slightly ajar. And it doesn't take much at all to just push them open. Inside, you see a control room right in front of you. There are no seats. If there were chairs in here, they've long floated out. But you do see, it looks like a very simple, very primitive flight deck, where you see a computer system that is relatively untouched, stretching out in front of you. And then what looks like glass looking down onto a shuttle bay, where a shuttlecraft is hovering in a slow spin in the middle of the bay itself. The shuttle looks like it's a very basic design. It looks very similar to some of the standard kinds of shuttlecraft, where it basically just looks like a container with a cockpit window on the front. It does have sort of a bubbling effect, almost very similar in some respects to the way Orion's shuttlecraft look, where they kind of have like these sort of bubbled bodies that kind of come out to the side and the top. To allow for more storage space and more secret compartments and such. This looks like it was probably made to accommodate, just from the looking at it and knowing that this is younger technology, or rather, like more primitive tech, probably to accommodate for an engine system that hadn't been perfected yet. You do notice, without even having to roll, that the front of this cockpit looks like the window has been shattered open.
Yeah.
And beyond it, you see the cargo bay doors look like they have been peeled away from the inside out. Like something blasted its way out. The doors themselves are closed, but there's a huge hole that's been torn, and it looks right out into the speckled night sky of space. And that is what you all see as you enter.
My first question to everybody here, and especially our engineers, what do we have to do to stabilize that shuttlecraft so that we can board it? Because it's floating right now. Do we just float with it, or?
You could try to get inside it. It doesn't look like it's. It doesn't look like it's It's definitely uncontrolled, but it doesn't look like it's dangerous. If you can get inside of it,
bump into something that's
no.
gonna.
Tether it.
Our
Maybe.
relative mass is so small compared
Right.
to the structure itself that our
maybe-
motion on it probably isn't going to affect it in a
Maybe
meaningful
tethering
way.
Yeah.
won't even really matter. Then
Or
in that
maybe
case.
some we could put some kind of like magnetizing gravitational component onto the shuttle if that was an issue, but it shouldn't be an issue.
It shouldn't be an
Keep
issue.
going.
would you like to make another intuition check?
Sure.
So same
Wanna
thing.
do it?
You did it, so you.
I didn't do it. You did it.
And I'm calling upon these because.
Oh no! I mean, just now you made that.
I'm calling upon these because
That real life
as I did
intuition check.
with Throllo when we were dealing with a lot of surgery, there's just things that Mala and Lark would know.
Right.
Especially Lark in this situation because this is
it's
a
a
shuttle bay.
Shuttle.
It's a
Okay.
shuttlecraft. So go ahead
On
and
that, I have a small craft focus.
so so here, Lark, if you want, I'm going to let you. If you don't have to roll engineering here, you can roll your daring and.
I mean, I could roll
actually-
engineering.
I was going to say if
Or
you want
con.
to.
Or
if you-
con.
I was going to say your control con would work, or your insight con. Really, anything that would relate to your experiences with shuttlecraft.
Said daring con. Let's do that one.
Daring, I don't think
Control
daring.
con?
Yes, I think
Okay.
control con would work. But actually, I'm sorry. Let's just do this straight up, and you're not gonna like this. But I'm gonna say reason con.
That's okay too.
Okay, and you can apply your specialty here.
Okay.
So
Can I assist
yeah,
Okay.
with same
I would
thing?
say for you it'd be reason engineering.
Okay.
You can take one. Okay. Okay.
What was the difficulty?
Difficulty's 1.
Oh, then fine. Two. Two for me.
Okay.
There are no ropes here. I don't know.
You get it back.
Gina's like, if we could just get one of those slappy hand
One was just
things that you get out of the
Only because he
quarter
made me
machines and
reason and not daring or
Where's a
control.
cowboy when you need him?
seriously.
What's a cowboy?
I have
if
no
I had a
idea. I
nickel.
heard someone say it.
So what'd you get?
2 successes.
Okay, so Bunny.
I'm drunk now. 2
It's related to rope, though.
All right, so go ahead and
Yeah.
you get your momentum.
We did.
Yep. All right, so it's possible the shuttle bay has a tractor beam. A lot of shuttle bays carry those in specifically to guide shuttle bays in. If you can
Okay.
restore power, that's very likely. Not necessarily they have a tractor beam, but they might have some. It's very likely that any kind of shuttle bay, like any kind of aircraft bay of any kind or spacecraft bay of any kind, they have something that will stabilize incoming craft. You might be able to use that to sort of get it to stop.
Here's an idea, Captain. If we can restore power to this room and use some sort of tractor beam, if this species had that technology back then, another idea that I just thought of that no one knows about because I just thought of it.
Ensign, finish your first idea.
Sorry.
Circle back to the second.
To keep it stabilized, if we could use a tractor beam. Also, if there was a way, we could also completely remove the shuttle bay doors that have
Right.
been blown open and have Lieutenant Commander Talon come around with our shuttle and tractor beam it from the outside to stabilize it. We can also tractor beam it back to the Sally Ride and inspect it closer on our ship as well in our shuttle bay. These are just thoughts.
Sounds like somebody wants a trophy.
I sympathize. How many
I'm never gonna
shuttles have we
argue.
gotten by now, sir?
Exactly. How many 2,700-year-old shuttles have we been able to claim as our own?
We'll make an even
Salon to
better
Captain Martinez.
Yes, come in.
I
Here.
can maneuver the shuttle around to the bay where you are currently located. Now that I have a more closer triangulation of exactly where the bay is, I can move the shuttle in and do as the ensign says.
Please do, and stand by, because I think we're trying to find a way to open up these shuttle bay doors, correct? Would that involve...
The shuttle bay doors are completely destroyed, Captain. I mean, it looks like they've been shot at. Even if we restored power to these doors, there's no guarantee that
not
we could get them open.
function.
Our easiest possible way would just be to cut around them open and kind of tractor
Okay.
beam it out.
Talon says,
do
I
that.
could also use the tractor beam to bring the shuttle to station keeping from without needing to open the doors through the hole.
There's
that
a
was
big
made.
enough hole. Yeah.
Oh, there is?
I believe I can do that, Captain, yes.
Okay.
I report, however, unfortunately, that I do not have a trophy on board.
Their replicators support the Colorado.
Is that an order, Commander?
Belay it for now.
Aye, sir.
Yeah.
What is meant by a trophy? The ship? I don't know. You didn't
Throllo's
bring
like,
anything,
there's more
so-
mystery in the way my crewmates are speaking than there is around us right now.
Meanwhile, the sports kid is sitting here like trophies. Yeah.
Jashiros is fighting some long-term lack of sleep, so she's not sure whether you're all just genuinely mysterious today or she's just like 3 steps behind.
Well, let's go ahead and haul this thing back to our shuttle bay so that we can get a closer look.
Do you want to haul it back to your shuttle bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So excited. This is like getting an antique car for like
Okay,
a car
I'm gonna
show.
make a
For-
roll
for
for
Lark. Like
Talon.
she's just so
An
excited.
antique car with a body in it.
Oh, can we remove that?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's leave
Okay.
that one. Or I guess
No, we kinda
can
need
check
it.
it.
Yeah.
Doctor can have it. We get 2 trophies in one.
Yeah, exactly.
You can have the body.
Oh, it's an acquisition that recognizes accomplishment. Like, sorry. Yep. Putting it in my notes.
Thrillus is just very goth.
What is goth?
Gothlo.
I
All
don't
right.
even know that one.
As the conversation is happening, you do see the lights of the shuttlecraft beaming through the doors of this blasted open shuttle bay. One thing Talon notes as she gets in position is that apparently the size of the hole is just big enough for a shuttle to get through.
How coincidental.
I could have told you that.
What is the estimated capacity of the shuttle bay?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Talon makes that distinction.
Is the hole clearly shot in or clearly
That's what I'm
shot
saying. It looks
out?
like it's been peeled out. So something blasted from the inside and peeled the entire shuttle bay doors have been ripped.
Right.
It's like somebody reached inside with their hands and just kind of pulled it like this.
I'm fairly familiar with starship scale weaponry. Can I roll to try to make inferences about what
Yes.
did the thing?
Yep. I would let you put that together for sure.
Excellent.
So yeah, that would be a reason.
Is it a reason or an insight?
I'll let you do insight if you want to do insight.
Thank you, beneficent later.
I am a benevolent GM.
I'll take one for cautious on this.
Remember, he
Until
said
I throw
that.
another tactical
Yeah.
board
Screenshot that.
tactical
If
board.
it, do whatever you need to, so that we can throw it at Eric when he breaks our hearts again.
Right.
May I use my shipboard tactical system?
Yes, absolutely. That would totally come into play here. So difficulty here is going to be 2.
Right. That would be 4 successes, looks like.
Momentum is not going to be a problem in this game.
Nope.
All right. So giving a good look, Commander, your first instinct is that the weapons that were being used here were probably equivalent to maybe plasma-based weapons. Judging from the scoring all over the walls, probably not quite as advanced, no surprises there, as, say, the Romulan weapons. Romulans use disruptors, but they also use a lot of plasma-based energy weapons. And it's very similar in that regard. It's very likely a shuttlecraft, probably this one here, it's very likely the shuttlecraft at least has one weapon system attached to it. It doesn't take much to put it together. Y'all are all kind of thinking it. Clearly a shuttle blasted its way out of this.
Yep.
And the doors were not made to open for it.
The question is, was it this shuttle and it just didn't make it? Or was there a second shuttle that did make it? And was that the one holding the... Oh, if that's the one that was holding the Orb of Journeys, then maybe this shuttle has the coordinates of where it went to.
I hope so.
I'm thinking out loud. You can all hear it.
Go. There would be nearby the shuttle bay like a flight control
That you're in the
system
flight control.
with a database that
You're
we
in it
could
right
look
now. Yeah.
at information about
Yes.
what ships were there.
Well,
The deck
Lieutenant,
you're on right now is basically a large
Yes.
flight control center that looks down into the shuttle
That's
bay.
untouched.
while Lieutenant Commander Talon is doing
Let's
her
fix that,
thing,
shall we?
Let's
grabbing
touch
the
it,
shuttle,
shall we?
I want to have Chief touch a thing.
Okay.
I would like to touch a thing.
Let's reach out and touch someone.
Would my focus in helm systems and navigation apply?
Yes, it would.
on these?
Absolutely.
Right?
Say on behalf of.
So,
If it's like
Okay, so you're taking the lead on this?
If it's flight control, I was just gonna say I'll assist.
so
With that.
yeah, who's going to take the lead on this?
Which is the first challenge? Powering it up or reading the data?
You're going to have to power it up first.
Then I'll power up first.
I'll assist.
'Kay.
And then we'll switch.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll
Sounds
tag
good.
team this. All right, so this is going to take a
Wonder
few minutes.
Twins! Activate!
I have full confidence in our engineering
I'm
team
taking
again.
that thing.
Chief has been crushing it lately.
So, just to add a little more
Why would you
cinematic
say that
narrative.
right now?
Just to add a little more cinematic narrative to this. Talon is going to spend 1 momentum.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that Talon, having anticipated running into more computer systems you might need to access, actually brought portable power sources for y'all to plug into because you've run into 3 now.
She's the best.
I thought we might have to scavenge the auxiliary core. This is so much better.
Yeah,
Please.
no, she brought, based off this, I mean, it's Talon. So based off the schematics and interactions y'all have had, she actually brought power systems. So
I'm
as
not
you're
helpful with
pulling
that part,
away
so
a
I'll
panel,
help carry them.
what's that?
I'll carry them with
Well,
me.
I was gonna say, as
You're doing body work.
as Mala Ren pulls away a panel, you just see a blue glow as one of them beams in.
Much better.
And Throlo just reaches over and grabs it and
I believe this is yours.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like it's met your specifications. It's outfitted to actually plug in based off of what you guys have discovered about these computer systems so far.
And this is controlled engineering?
This is going to be control engineering, but for Mala, this is going to be reason engineering.
Is it?
Or actually, no, it would be control engineering for you too.
Okay.
And then Bonnie, for Sage, I would say this is going to be.
Well, I'm just helping her power it up right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm just assisting.
Okay, then for you, that's going to be insight engineering.
Insight.
Yep. That's correct, just like it was last time.
That works too.
Difficulty here is 1, because you've got a power source that's compatible.
How we looking, Chief?
You can never read that expression. You don't know if she just screwed up hardcore or.
That's 4.
That's 4, okay.
5 for me.
No.
Oh.
Sorry. I was counting your 1.
So 4 total.
Okay, so 4 successes, so power up on that momentum.
Oh, those
All right.
dice are.
Good lord. We're about to see something real pretty.
Never accept dice from a GM again. Clearly, lesson.
Yeah.
Again, Piper's Dream. Thank you so much.
Eric,
Although, if we ever play a game where you're gonna need.
It switches though.
That's
But
true.
don't worry, because I still got these.
That's true. That's right. All right.
My Wonder 20s.
You plug this into the computer system itself, and it takes a few moments, but you all watch a glow begin to come to the consoles. As
It's actually really simple.
for the first time in 2,000 years, these computers turn on. You hear, even in the vacuum, you can hear a low hum, which kind of indicates that there's probably an exposed power source around here somewhere.
Uh-oh.
You don't know how long you're going to be able to keep this thing powered up.
Let's get what we can fast.
Yep.
All right, so you're taking lead on this, Lark?
If we're getting navigational information,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what we want to know is where those shuttles were scheduled to go.
Right. So, you're probably going to only have time for a quick data extraction.
Right.
Yes.
So I would say make your roll. And the good thing is because you've managed to put this through the universal translator and get a lot of the information, the tricorder is actually able to extrapolate relevant data a lot faster this time.
Great.
So the difficulty here is only going to be 2.
Okay.
And I would say make your engineering check.
Control engineering?
Yep, control engineering.
Okay. I'll take one just to do it. You want to assist?
I did.
Oh, you did. Ooh! Wait! And I'm assuming my computers and helm systems and everything.
Yes.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes, almost 6.
6 from me.
We have 6 successes.
So that means that we have, what was the difficulty?
The difficulty is 2.
We have a lot.
We have 3 extra floating momentum right now that we can use.
You can use immediately.
I'm gonna
It's
give it to
go
the
away after
doctor.
the
Happy
scene.
birthday.
Yeah, we can use it to gain an advantage of some kind.
Oh.
Perhaps that costs 2.
What would be a cool advantage to gain?
Seriously, it's moments
yeah.
like these where you can use the
Yeah.
momentum to change some of the narrative.
Oh,
So they did file a flight plan before they.
So the orb is
busted
in the
their way
shuttle.
out.
Just sitting in there. I would like to
all
celebrate
the
Ruben.
Is the pilot.
The orb of journeys is just floating in the shuttle, just hanging out.
And credits.
Follow the button, and we did it.
All seriousness, though, perhaps this console was networked to other system.
Right.
So if there's any other information we want to know from the space station as such, perhaps it was networked, and that's an advantage we could gain.
Because it is kind of like a control, like master control area.
I would say spend 2 momentum of the ones you just
Sure.
the
netted,
floating one.
giving you
Boom.
one left over. Yeah.
Okay.
So, because, again, this primitive computer systems, the efficiency and power ratings of this small generator that you plugged into it is actually able to power, using those 2 momentum, one of the reasons why you're hearing the humming sound is because
Yeah.
you've actually managed to power the entire hangar bay, which is connected to some dead computer cores that are now getting power for the first time. So you actually are able to extract even more information outside of this localized computer data bank.
We're going to look at it later.
Good.
A lot of it is deeply fragmented, though.
We'll fix it.
That's okay.
But yes, you get gigaquads upon gigaquads of data coming into the tricorder.
Just like data pad, boop, 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 data pad, boop, 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 just like just floppy disks. Keep passing them over.
Sounds like a
floppy
children's.
disks. We're
I know.
so dated.
Well, I'm just saying, I got the floppy disk, got my old
It was
shuttle
over
car.
Take this dongle.
2,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's true. They could have been playing Oregon Trail.
We
and Apple
could
IIe.
physically fit a gigaquad on a floppy disk sized thing, right?
In this day and age.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, Coach Media is not.
No problem. So, So yeah, you manage to get as much information as you can, and then even though you're powered in, you begin to see the power system begin to fail.
Well, obviously, it's
I'd like to
Here
use
we
that
go.
floating momentum. I have an idea. I don't know if this is possible, but you said that there was an exposed power source somewhere. I would like it if the computer that we just tapped into was able to recognize that and shut that off so that it like didn't pose a danger.
I will let you. I will let you do that on a roll. I won't give it to you, but you can do that on
Chief?
a roll.
or
Yes, Captain.
we could find where the exposed energy is and figure out what they run on, what it runs on.
Oh, well, you're gonna find that out with the
Oh.
shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
But remember, I said it was very similar to what you guys used in the early 22nd
Right.
or the mid 22nd century, where
early warp
early warp technology.
capacity.
Well, if we've gotten what we needed, we can shut the power source off at this point.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Have we, Chief?
Yeah.
We ready?
All right, now I am. That was my last.
So you're just gonna, because if you unplug it, it's gonna kill the power.
Isn't
Or
that
did
what
you
they
want?
want?
Did we get everything we needed?
You got everything you can get with what you've spent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With what we spent.
Yeah, because you spent 2 momentum to get even more data and
Right.
stuff.
So
I
we
gave that
have
to you.
one. Okay, before this is the last chance. Anybody got any?
I couldn't think of anything else to do with that floating momentum other than neutralizing an exposed power source in case that posed any kind of a
Right.
danger. But
I
if we're
actually
just
do
removing
want
the
something.
power,
Can I, before I unplug something, I have an idea. I want to check for any sort of maydays sent from this hangar, any sort of last minute SOSs to people, any last messages that would have been sent out before the system failed.
and they would be separate from
Brilliant,
any data we extracted.
Yeah.
You know, on top of whatever.
Specific.
That's very narrative, so I'll give that to you for
Yeah,
momentum.
I kind of just
Great.
want to know
Yeah.
what's
Great.
up with these
Great.
people.
There's
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
Let's do that.
Well, and also,
So you
energy-
can get some of
Unplug-
that last
unplug it.
data. You get a couple of personal logs
punch us in the face
that looks
now.
like they've been fractured
Yeah.
and
Yes, I want that. I want that interstellar Matthew McConaughey crying.
Yeah.
Personal log.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
thank you. Yeah.
that was a rough scene. You
Yeah.
can make fun of Matthew McConaughey, but he
Well,
brought it in
No,
the movie.
that's
Get ready.
a wonderful
Yeah,
scene.
no.
Yeah,
Because-
he brought it in that movie.
Gina just solicited that from you.
Yes.
So,
Remember when you said you were a benevolent DM?
Yes, I do remember that.
Chief, unplug us so that we can get the heck out of here.
Wait, before you do, I'm gonna spend a minute to take a selfie. Just kidding.
Tink.
I just wanted
Right.
to document this moment.
And once again, it goes back to sleep.
Station never really sounds good without that hum.
it's nice and hummy back on USS Sally Rod. Do we have what we need?
We got more than what we need. This is very exciting.
Captain, I
frankly
believe I'm in
can't believe
position
you
to
did it.
engage the tractor beam at your order.
Make it so.
You see a blue beam go, and the shuttle just stops as this beam latches onto it. I have Talon's character sheet.
Talon's got this, no problem.
You two could unblock
I'm
and
gonna
cave in with your eyes
spend.
closed.
It's 2 momentum for an extra die for you guys.
I'm
right?
not good with rocks.
No, it's
One.
1. It's 1 for the first one. Yeah. All right.
So you got an extra
Difficulty:
one.
guiding a shuttlecraft from outside. I'm going to set the difficulty here at 3, and I'm going to spend 2 threat to raise this because it would make sense that there might be a complication. So I'm going to raise the complication range by 2. So 18 or better is a complication, and I roll a 16, an 18, and a 9.
Wow. She has
What was
cautious,
she rolling
though.
with?
She was rolling with her. Oops.
Talon has
there's-
cautious
Does she
though.
still have
She does have
cautious?
cautious.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's right,
reroll
she
that.
took cautious.
We're gonna reroll that 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reroll that 18.
Please crit.
She crit.
Bonnie's Q confirmed.
I am the secret.
Nicely done.
Nicely done. She was rolling her control con on that.
Oh, she was
She
rolling
doesn't have
con?
cautious for that.
She can't cautious.
Oh, she can't cautious for that?
No, it's only for
Oh,
science.
science.
That's why I asked what
Nope, that's not a science roll.
So complication. All right.
Okay.
But the crit though.
I know.
And you commanded it.
I did.
Ah.
I, need
but
to
I was-
I think this is
committed
an
it,
older
I think.
version of her character sheet because she only just added cautious. Isn't that correct? She got that back?
It's relatively recent. What she
Yeah.
retook was studious.
Ah. Okay.
She
The
traded
GM
cautious and
Provideth and the GM taketh away.
True.
Now remember, anytime I spend threat, you can neutralize it with momentum. So in the future, don't forget that.
Yeah.
Because you can totally neutralize that. But
So-
I'll say, so what?
Were you able to meet 3 successes or no?
No.
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 And it's a complication. So as this shuttle is coming out, Talon is guiding it through, and it looks like it's working for a second, but there is one piece of metal on the outside has blasted open, and maybe through radiation over time, for whatever reason, it looks like it's actually warped up into a hook. And one of the bottom parts that would have maybe been in a cell, perhaps, catches on that metal. And Talon, you all see the... Even in space, it's very difficult to hear, obviously, because sound needs gases to pass through for it to actually, be able to hear it. You can still hear the distant, very muted ripping of metal as... And it takes a second. Talon's like disengaging tractor beam, and as she says that, you see, and the shuttle just rotates as it's torn free. A fragment of the door splits open off onto the side, and the shuttle looks like it has a breach on the side of it as it comes loose. The tractor beam disengages and it begins to float freely out in space.
And it's out in space right now.
It looks like the right side of it has been torn, and it's caused a hull breach, and you can see actually a small vapor escaping.
No. Quick,
The very bottom of it.
transport it to the Sally Ride.
Nope. Talon, I need you to scan that to see what kind of gases or whatever. It looks like we're getting some kind of a leak we can see from in here inside the hangar bay. Scan
Houston,
that to see if it's
we are
safe.
venting something into space. I rolled
Yes.
a 4 and a 1.
Yeah, that sounds like Talon's doing science.
Yeah, so go ahead. The difficulty on that was going to be 1, so go ahead and gain that momentum back. Talon says, I'm detecting some kind of hydrocarbon. It does not look like it was part of the main cabin pressured area, Captain. Probably some kind of reserve.
Would it safe to re-engage the tractor beam? Would it be safe?
Yes, Captain.
Sir, if we transport me aboard, I might be a little more adept at the tractor beam itself. Then Talon would be free to focus on maintaining the
Talon,
color
1
on
to
it.
beam over. Lock on to the commander's signal. Beam them over.
Aye, Captain.
Good luck, Commander.
It's a site to site.
We will, but
Unless we're gonna
they're
get
more of a
It's like
priority than we are right
a
now.
transporter pad.
Huh?
I'm just going to the Colorado's transporter pad.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were
Site.
beaming directly to the you're
no,
talking
no,
about
no.
beaming to the Colorado.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought you
so
were
I
beaming
can-
into the alien shuttle.
No, I want to help with the
Talon.
tractor beam.
Help Talon.
Okay, that's
Help Talon.
I can-
difficulty 0 then. You beam onto the tractor beam, or onto the back onto the Colorado. Talon, as you beam in, Talon kind of glances back at you. The subtleties of Talon's expressions. After traveling with her for all this time, you've kind of started to pick up on them. You know an annoyed Vulcan when you see one. Even though her face is a mask of logic and reason, you know an annoyed Vulcan when you see one. You also know to acknowledge the annoyance is annoying. So she's very contained. She says, Commander.
Lieutenant Commander?
And you watch as the tractor beam re-engages.
Okay, good.
Looks like the interior is still intact, Commander. There may be some damage to the computer core system, judging by the schematics that I've been able to scan. It might... I do believe that the computer core will be mostly intact, but it might be more difficult now to extract information from it.
These things happen. We'll work with what we can to get any of this at all is a blessing, and we'll take it.
Yes, Commander.
Would you like me to take over operation of the tractor beam so that you can focus on maintaining the Colorado's position?
Thank you, Commander. I think I'm fine. And I do believe that you are a more proficient pilot than I am.
I certainly would not say that. If we need a pilot, we should get the ensign.
The ensign is the best pilot on the ship. I would agree.
I feel like Dumb and Dumber. We'll pick him up. Beam him over.
Talon, between you, me, and the wall, I'm probably the worst pilot.
Then I retract my previous statement.
I think that'd be logical. Let's get the ensign, shall we? Let's just pick
So
them
one
up.
by
I
one,
think, for the
everybody
most
beams
part.
back to the Colorado?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're just grabbing the kiddos.
About 5 minutes, but everyone beams back on board.
Before I beam back on board, I want to try to safely extract some of their tech. And seeing the crash, I might need to reconstruct some things, so I want to take some of their pre-existing stuff to possibly refit.
Oh,
if
use as a
anything is
model,
missing.
use for
Yeah,
spare
use as like a
parts.
how does this fit back together kind of deal.
The information that you've extracted from the computer core might have that. Otherwise, you're
Okay.
going to have to stay here and scour the place to
I was
find
just
out.
sort of the immediate.
Literally grab things out of the wall.
Do you have your phaser on you?
I don't imagine I would.
Do you have your toolkit?
Yeah.
You've got
So
your
some
tool.
kind of
got
a
tools.
torch to take a chunk out, but it's like,
Yeah,
what could you do?
I think he's saying
could-
there's schematics. Would that work?
Schematics.
That you downloaded?
That must have been in the data we grabbed. We got
And we have some stuff. that we got from
gigaquads of
last one,
data.
too. Yeah.
That's true.
It's true.
And we have a whole shuttle full of tech.
Yeah, I just meant like actual physical parts
Right.
that we don't have.
Oh, that's true.
Chief, if we need something, we can always come back, Chief.
I'll give Mala this because you would know this.
Yeah.
But if you can get enough information off this, you can replicate
Okay.
the tech. Especially if it's primitive tech compared to Starfleet. It's unless there's something shocking that's going to be waiting for you, which you never know out here in space. But it's you can absolutely replicate the materials you need.
Okay.
Or something
Then
close
I'm
to
fine. I don't need to deface there.
All right.
Except
So one by
stuff we're
one,
bringing
everyone
with us.
beams back on board the Colorado. You, having known Talon the longest, definitely pick up on. And having known Talon the longest, would also instinctively know to bring it up is to invite even more irritation.
That's true.
But as her oldest friend, you see her very much a mask as you beam aboard.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to, as we sort of
Head back to the Sally Ride,
head back on the way back to the Sally Ride. I'll say, excellent work, Lieutenant Commander. These things happen, and we can just be thankful that it didn't go worse and that nobody was hurt. Excellent work.
Let's make a command roll.
Okay.
We never do that. Let's make a command roll. Let's see how Martinez. So I'm going to say this is going to be a presence command. Difficulty for Talon, who is currently angry in her Vulcan way.
Sure.
I'm going to say difficulty for this is going to be 4.
4.
Take a momentum, Captain.
Take a moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll spend 1.
This is what Martinez does. You've got a higher presence than Picard.
I know. I know. You know what? Because I'm not afraid of kids. Oh,
Yeah.
I said
What's
it.
up? What's up? He said it. He said it.
Come at me, Jean-Luc. I'm not afraid of little tykes.
What's up, Picard Day this? All right.
It's not going to take me 7 seasons, you know what I'm saying? All right. Here we go. Yeah, that worked out.
Yeah, he's
real well.
captain, turns out. Like, he
So-
captain real good.
How much, what was it difficult?
4.
4 successes.
Okay.
Captain real good.
Wow.
Real good.
You hit just the right note. You're not patronizing in any way. It's genuine, like, focus on appreciation. It registers to Talon that you are absolutely correct. It's inevitable and a variable where even there's an old Japanese saying, even monkeys fall out of trees. It's kind of like, it clicks with her. She
Yep.
just kind of, thank you, Captain.
It's not even that I'm correct. It's just that I'm logical. What I said was just logical.
Yeah, and it clicks with her.
Yeah.
You know how to talk to Talon after all these years,
Yeah.
and it clicks. And you see that very subtle shift as she nods, which for her would be very much like Lark saying, "Thanks, Captain." Mm-hmm.
And that goes for the rest of you too. Excellent work out there. Really good job. Good hustle. Yeah. I don't want to let it get to your head, but again, Chief, really good job.
I'll award you all a bonus
It's
momentum.
all in my head.
Are you? Go ahead and
Now we're
max out on
maxed out.
momentum.
Okay.
I'm going to say Martinez leadership.
No, we weren't maxed out because I hit the.
Yeah, you
Now
spent.
we are.
Yeah.
You spent. Now you're going to be maxed out. I'm awarding you a
giving us
momentum
one.
because
Oh, okay, great.
your presence role as a captain.
great.
Captain real good.
Great.
Yeah, I'm giving you all like, yeah, captain's good.
Good.
So it takes about 20 minutes to tow her back to the Sally Ride. Sally Ride comes and meets you about halfway. Jiv takes over on the tractor beam, and the Colorado slides into dock right underneath the Sally Ride's saucer section. Just perfect docking. And
obviously.
latches on, seamless with the hull. Which, by the way, I should note that we should talk about that after the game because of the refit. It means that the Arrow-Wing shuttle would also have a blade of armor on its belly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, and why stop there?
Abs.
I would love for there to be an action sequence, a space battle or something where we would need to.
Don't you bring that on this house?
Where we'd need to like turn the shuttle, and be like, expose the belly, just because.
Ride the lightning.
That would be great.
All right. So, I imagine the engineers were like, if we're putting it on the stomach, we should probably fill out the rest of the shuttlecraft, right? Not screw them over. So this, I would say, part of the refit would probably include blade of armor on the Arrow-Wing. Yeah.
The whole shuttle. Okay,
If it's
cool.
part of the exterior of the ship.
But more specifically, it's Tum Tum.
It's dumb. Yeah.
In fact, it should be renamed the USS Tum Tum.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I call it.
And then if we ever go into battle, we go tum tum tum.
Too much?
Just so long as we don't get sued for taking someone's jingle. But,
Oh,
yeah.
no. Well, I didn't.
Its sister ships include the USS Rocky and the USS Colt.
Yeah! Because Rocky loves Emily. So let's do this.
Those were references to the movie Three Ninjas.
Yeah, it was.
I was going the Tums route, so I was going to call it Pepto was the next one, but that works.
Would have been good too.
No.
Yours is better.
No, not really, because one person got it.
Tum, tum, tum,
Hey,
tum, tum, tum.
and the internet. And the internet,
I was
yeah.
going to say, I'm sure there's a lot of
But
people.
also, you're welcome.
Okay. So we'll cut to about an hour later. So lose one
Suits are
momentum.
off. Suits are off.
Yeah, suits are off. Everyone's congregated on the main deck, the shuttle deck.
Yeah.
Flight deck here has been cleared out, and you see in the place of one of the old shuttlecraft where you had one of the old Orion shuttles, this new shuttle has been parked.
We got a new baby.
This
Yeah,
ancient-
new dump shuttle.
An ancient shuttle. And I assume that an hour having gone by, that certain teams have had their chance to take a look at the shuttle, the engineering teams.
Decontamination teams, everything is like scanned it to make sure
Yes.
it's not a threat. It's all been put under the microscope. Everything's just checking out.
Has
Talon
the
and
body
Shiv.
been removed to a place where the doctor can examine it?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Y'all are the bridge crew. Senior staff is arriving here on scene, and as y'all walk into the shuttlecraft, you see Shiv down there with the tricorder, and he looks up and goes, "Well, y'all brought a mystery on board, that's for sure. This is really interesting."
What do you got for us, Commander?
Well, it uses a very primitive style warp core containment system, kind of what we were using in the early days of warp. But I'm sure you knew that because you had Hurt on your team.
Yeah. Couldn't wait for me, Commander.
Yeah, no.
Don't blame you.
There's a body inside, but I didn't want anybody to touch that. We haven't opened it yet. Looks like there's a fresh tear in the side of the shuttle too, right here. I'm not sure what happened, but looks like maybe something recent. So I don't know how.
There was a complication with the tractor pulling.
Oh,
Complication would be a very good way to put it, I'd say, sir.
Yeah.
okay.
But thankfully, Commander, nobody was hurt.
Well, yeah, because whoever was inside's already dead.
That's right.
Everyone wins except for them. Let's see. Old technologies, a few compartments. The computer system looks mostly intact. It looks like whatever caused this shuttle to become inert was whatever passed through the windshield of the shuttle. The flight deck protecting screen of the shuttle itself. And aside from that, it's fully functional. All it needs is a new native power source, and it's going to need a replacement. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of these canisters are here yet. And he moves over to the side of the bulbous shuttle, and he points
Yeah.
down here where the rip is, where the gas was escaping into space. It's like, not really sure what the purpose of those were yet, but it's possible it was an early form of life support system.
Do we have we have historians on board, anthropologists, people who would that have
Talon's
expertise.
Talon.
Like Talon.
Yes.
Talon and Baker, for that matter.
And
Talon,
Dottie.
Baker, who?
Lieutenant Big Dottie.
Dottie.
Lieutenant
Dottie.
Lieutenant Baker.
Yeah, just how long have we been at this planet? I'm sure by now the ship is abuzz with we have uncovered an ancient civilization, and so whoever specialty would include being able to provide any insight at any of these levels of our investigation,
Summon the nerds.
Thank you, Commander. Summon the TLDR. Summon the nerds.
Talon says, "Captain, I believe that both Lieutenant Baker and I can nerd out over the shuttle."
Commander, did Talon just say nerd out?
That is what I heard. She really said nerd. You've known her longer than I have.
Yes, I have.
Does she say nerd often?
She's never mentioned.
I mean, I've been calling them nerds now, but that's because, you're all science-oriented and I'm more...
This
Yes,
is the
Lieutenant
first
Commander.
instance that I have used the word nerd.
Yes, and that was the second, and both of those were correct. Yes, then fantastic. Let's have you and Lieutenant Baker proceed to nerd out.
Hi, Captain.
Ooh, and Captain Chief and I can also nerd out and get as much information off of the data pads.
you guys nerd out all the time, but that's why
She
this is a
pipes
special
up and is
thing.
like, "I'm sorry, the translator ain't working because I don't know what nerd is. What is that?"
You,
It's a thing that the
and
commander
you,
always
and
says.
you, and you, and you, and you, and... Well, me, but about martial arts.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I get it.
Get to work passionately.
Yeah.
That would definitely make me a nerd.
I think it just means doing the thing you're really passionate about.
Yes. Yes.
There's a meta conversation here.
Yep.
There's a Geek and Sundry
I'm
meta
pretty
conversation.
sure we're nerding out right now. Inception.
So Jiv just says, all right, I think I get it, yeah.
So let's all get to work, and let's move that body as safely as possible, as soon as possible, to get it into the doctor's capable hands so that she can solve some more mysteries.
Yes, please give me the corpse.
Is the body wearing
Yeah, we should probably do that soon because now that it's in atmosphere.
Yes.
You see the door of this, the like one of the bulbous areas, like the bubble off on the side, goes, and it turns, and then like an iris just goes and opens up.
So cool.
And you see laying on the floor inside is a perfectly preserved corpse. It looks, you can see through the inside of its helmet. It looks like first of all, the helmet looks broken and its face looks like it's been destroyed. But for the most part, you see the skin is intact and everything, and you can already see it's kind of. I'm sorry for using the descriptor, but it's kind of beef jerkied. It's kind of like, there has been a state of decay from being in the vacuum for so long. However, now that it's exposed to the air, you're already detecting a rapid decay taking place.
Yep, work fast.
I'm assuming that the doctor already has a team down here with like a hover gurney to like get,
I have
to
no doubt
safely-
Matazi and a few of the nurses are
Great.
down here.
Great.
Putting that together. So
That's number one
Subject
priority.
number 3 is a medium age, possible pilot. I'm just talking.
okay, you load it up onto the hover gurney, and Matazi says, "Stasis field activated." You just see the field pass over it, and we have vacuum. It is preserved, Doctor.
Excellent. Let's go.
Bye, guys.
And the medical staff follows Throlo out, who's kind of like looking at her instruments as she's pulling this along, as everyone kind of just wheels this body out.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
The corpse.
And then we follow them, and it's like an episode of ER.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or House.
walk
It's
and
House.
talk.
Yeah. So
Doogie Howser.
you all make to the you make back to the sick bay. Dorothy Baker, Lieutenant Baker, arrives on the scene to assist Talon with the interior scans, and Jiv begins to go to work as well, doing some base scans. Were you going to stick behind to help Jiv with that?
Oh yeah, no, I'm staying with the ship.
Okay, so everyone's got their task,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can do a time elapse.
Excellent. I
let's
want
do
to
a
give the
couple of
commander
rolls.
a task during this as well. With any info that we downloaded, if you wanted to take a look to see if you can extrapolate any theories or ideas for what some of the mysteries we were trying to solve out of that hangar, right? If we can look for any weapons specialties or anything that we can try to figure out what were the cause of what blasted out. You were asking about that earlier, right? In the hangar?
Yeah, I do have some proficiencies with decrypting information about weapons.
Yes.
Okay.
That.
Okay. So then what we'll do is we'll do a time elapse, and let's do some rolls here real quick and to find out. So all of this data that has been dumped into this tricorder system is now being dispensed to the teams that are most proficient to extract the keywords you're able to find out. Okay, well, this is an engineering document. Let's look at this.
Yeah.
This is going to take about 6 hours to take all of this data and find out exactly what it is you got. So let's go down the row here. It's going to be largely, what I'm going to say is, why don't we do this? And this is going to be kind of a house rule thing, but just so we don't, I don't think it's time sensitive, so I don't want to dive into an extended task. So instead, the people who are going to be extracting the data, clearly it's going to be either Mala or Lark. Probably Mala, right? For data extraction?
Computers.
Or is that going to be, that's going to probably be actually you,
Well,
right, Lark?
if this is for the specific flight plan stuff, it's going to be safe.
Well, this is just to get the bulk of the information and then to categorize it so that a whole team can
Both
sift
from the
through it.
shuttle.
Yeah.
And I think we both have a computer's focus, right?
The shuttle and
no, I
Oh.
don't. I have systems
this
augmentation.
is
and
more than
stuff
just the
like that.
shuttle. This is all of the data you've
The
taken
gigaquads.
out. Yeah.
The gigaquads.
yeah.
The shuttle information going through the computer, as well as because Jiv is going to make a roll to see what he can pull off the computer.
If you and Jiv want to do that, and then I'll go play in the shuttle.
Sure.
And then, Doctor, I'm going to have you roll for your scans to get more information off of this. This corpse is remarkably intact, even more so than the other one. The other one looked like it was partially decayed. This one was completely exposed to vacuum the moment the front part of that shuttle shattered. And it looks like, just from glancing at it, whatever shattered through the front of that shuttle went right through this poor pilot's head. At least
What kind of
part
skin
of it
do they
did.
have?
What's that?
You said it's partly. There's elements of reptile and primate to the build. What kind of skin do they have?
Judging from the looks of it, it looks like it very much. It kind of resembles in very much like the Planet of the Apes style, so that kind of builds. The face actually looks like it's normal, like flesh, until you get to about like the area around the neck where a frill might be, and you're actually seeing intact portions of hair and scale, like scaling going off to the side. It's not laced scale like a snake's skins. But instead, it looks like they were going through like an evolutionary tract where the scales were maybe even being phased out or evolving. But it looks like the scales kind of branch off down at the neck area. So it gives them a strange, from what it looks like, it may have given them a strange coloration. It looks like they may have been able to frill their scales at one point. You're able to determine just from they were, it's also remarkable considering their build, their body type. It looks like it's very likely, despite the fact of their size and the way they're built, you're seeing signs that may indicate that they at one point in their evolution, they were endothermic or cold-blooded and had evolved into, ectothermic. So it looks like they evolved into endothermic, which is pretty curious. But at some point, it almost looks like, for lack of a better way of describing it, it looks like this was an ape-like species that just shifted direction suddenly and started becoming more reptilian over time, and then found like a middle ground between the two. You're detecting like sharp incisors. There is some like flattened molars in the back, which would indicate maybe omnivorous.
You've given me clues that indicate ape to reptile and clues that indicate reptile to ape. Is it just because I'm seeing things in sort of a profusion? It's difficult
Correct.
to trace? Yeah.
Yeah. On this particular specimen, you're detecting longer nails. Looks like the nails here actually are almost bone, maybe like an early form of talon that comes off. And judging from just tertiary, just like a surface scan, it's possible because this one was in a different sexual cycle than the other one. Because if you remember, this species actually has the capacity to switch back and forth as needed. Yeah, exactly. So very much like amphibians were able to do. Yeah. It's a very efficient way to manage a species.
This is a cool.
Amazing.
Did you draw a thing?
Hector drew a thing.
Yeah, why are you so good?
Yes, just exactly like that.
We'll take a picture of it and tweet it out.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah,
I can drew.
We'll tweet it out during the break.
You're also able to get some eye color off of this thing. The eye color it's very unique. It's a very, very light, almost brilliant emerald green color that's kind of milked over from all the ages past. But you're able to see enough of the pigment in the scan from the blood running into the system itself, which actually seems to hint that the color of their blood was not red on the inside. You're getting all sorts of unique information about this species. It looks like what you're able to get off of this is that it's possible during the course of the evolutionary track of this species, the environment changed so dramatically on the planet that this species was able to adapt to those changes where others probably went extinct. So a very resilient race.
I'm monologuing as I record data. It is particularly ironic that a race should be so undone by change after a history of such successful response.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Yeah. So, but that's what you get. It's a lot of fascinating information. There are some similarities between some Federation races here, but that's not unusual. Especially because the theory of the founder race has been spreading wildfire among the metal community.
Okay, we don't have to get into that whole thing.
That one piece of incredible Star Trek lore that people were like, oh, cool, and then just kind of threw over their shoulder and kept going.
Just only remember it if you're wondering why people's eyes are so similar, if that's very unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, only remember it as it's convenient.
All these aliens look like actors in makeup. Here's why. This episode.
Yeah. So, Before we jump back in, I just want to say for the record, I do not think they needed to go back and rewrite that the Klingons didn't previous. Just keep going. Doctor Who does it all the time. Just pretend like they always had ridges and just keep going. You don't have to. That's just my personal passionate opinion as a Star Trek fan. We're gonna move on.
Dr. Shishiros to Chief Ren?
Yes. I know you're all busy with your work over there, but I would like to put in one request as you're decoding all of what you amazingly got off the station.
Yeah. Anything you want to add? Let's do it now.
If you have a name for this pilot, keep us updated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's possible that in the gigaquads of data, you might actually be able to find, considering how much you pulled off of this. So let's go ahead and make the roll then. Let's go ahead and make an engineering check, and we'll have you lead the way, and I'm going to allow multiple assists on this. Jiv is going to assist, and I will let... So whoever's going to take... You're going to take this?
Yeah. Doctor, was there any insignia or any markers on...
Yes.
The
what's the rank marker on him? Yeah.
Looks like it was a captain's rank.
Captain's rank.
Mm-hmm.
Also a faction rank. Control engineering, I'm assuming?
A captain's rank.
Yes, that would be control engineering for you. And for Jiv,
Chief Ren, I think that was a captain.
who's going to assist here.
I think they were a captain.
Where are you, Jiv? Uh-oh, where are you, Jiv?
Yeah.
I moved them around. Where the hell did I put
Stop reorganizing in here.
Oh, sorry. Right, he's with Matazi. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna set the difficulty here.
Oh no, I hate that song.
Me too. Taking a momentum.
All right, I'm gonna set the difficulty at 4, but I'm gonna spend my maximum amount of threat to raise the complication range.
You're
So
it.
1, 2,
Why is it always with me?
It is
Amy's
me.
birthday.
4. I know, I'm such a bastard.
Wait,
So-
It's not Gina's birthday.
Now give him saying I'm such a bastard and put it next to the one where he says he's a benevolent DM. I'm just saying, and then do the math on how many minutes it took.
This is also why Amy Dallin is the best.
I wear many hats as a GM.
Yeah.
All right. So 16 or better is going to be a complication.
Oh my gosh.
A what or better?
16 or better. I
16 or
spent the
better.
maximum amount.
And what's the difficulty for?
Difficulty is 4.
Wherefore dost thou do this?
Okay.
But you're going to have Lark assist. And by the way, Sally Wright is going to assist as well. So whoever wants to roll for that.
This is extraction, right?
Yes, this is data extraction. So this is kind of encompassing. I'm not going to have you roll. That'd be too vicious. I'm not going to have you roll multiple times for this. So this is going to be data extraction, division, and interpretation. So this is like 6-hour project of pulling all this data.
This is my
finding out
6-hour
what it is.
project, y'all. This is my determination. This is my jam.
Yeah.
I love
It's
this.
your jam,
Who
your
needs
jelly, your
instructions anyway? Let's do this.
You remind me of Bill Murray in Ghostbusters. This is a great plan. I'm all about this.
all about this plan.
I'm excited to be a part of it. All right.
And computers engineering for Sally.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
I'm guessing this is
You already
control
rolled?
engineering
Yeah.
for me.
Jiv.
We just rolled.
I'm re-rolling. My cautious engineering.
Come on, Sally.
Jiv is going to burn his value. Can I burn? I'm going to go ahead and burn. If it's difficult,
that's
it's worth
free.
doing it. So go ahead and.
Okay.
That's free.
So 3.
Oh,
I can use
he's
a
gonna-
focus,
no,
yeah?
you don't need to spend a momentum. Sorry.
I'm assuming I can use a focus. Jury rigging, damage control, systems augmentation.
I'd let
core.
systems augmentation work.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jiv is burning his determination. If it's difficult, it's worth doing.
Yep. He likes a challenge.
Yes, he does. So he's going to get 2 auto successes, and he rolled a success.
Does he get his determination back? He's a veteran.
Oh, let's roll. That's a D6, yeah?
Yes, effect.
He does not.
All right.
So is everybody contributing to this, trying to knock out 4 difficulty roll right now?
4 difficulty into
Jiv,
dodge.
Chief.
It's
Ensign.
Jiv, Chief, the Sally Ride, and
me.
Lark.
Wow.
You use like an advisor thing or something for rerolls?
That's okay.
Not.
It's cool.
What'd you get?
I got 6, y'all.
On your own?
Yeah, on my own.
So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That explodes our record. Of course, I was house ruling this, so I'm not shocked because of
Well,
all
there's
that.
also-
What did you get?
Sally.
Sally didn't
Sally,
get-
my good girl.
Sally was like,
19.
what is this?
And that's
alien
okay. I was
stuff?"
working too fast for her.
Okay.
She rolled a complication.
So
Oh,
10
is that
successes and a complication.
I was jealous that we're paying attention to another ship.
Can we, what did you say? If we spend 2 momentum, we can negate a complication?
That's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
We'll do that right now. So
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
we've
well,
knocked down
we
2.
have bonus momentum to the.
Oh yeah, we
So,
don't even have to knock down 2.
No complication, but then what
'Cause
was
we
it?
have,
It
like,
was
10
difficulty
it was
4. Oh, we're all maxed out. I'm sorry.
So the
We're
GM
maxed
goes, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Okay. So So no complication as you burn that momentum away. So it's a 6-hour task then.
Oh, that felt good.
It's really intensive. Lots of cussing from Shiv. But as you kind of work a little over past your shift.
Yeah.
But as the shift comes to an end, you manage to, with that many successes, you manage to actually not only successfully extract, interpret, and divide up the data, but you manage to program the computer. The Sally Ride is able to pick up on keywords to make searches easier. So the Sally Ride is able to actually smart look into all this data and begin to divide it up by period of time in which some of these log entries were made. You are getting a huge swath of information that details how this race operated, what its military was like, some pieces of its history, some of its art, some of its music. You're getting all this cultural, you're getting letters home back to the station. Some of the data that's been entered in the banks were actually hundreds of years old before the destruction of the station itself, because generations had lived on the station and had been coordinating and talking back to the
What
planet.
kind of music? I need to make a new mix.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, interesting musical mixes that you're getting through, but the Sally Ride is able to divide it up. You basically have everything you need. There's enough, let me put it this way, there's enough information that you've extracted successfully from this data input that you could actually recreate most of the species on a holodeck and build out what the station might have looked like when it was still intact, and what the species talked like, how they walked, the way they addressed each other.
Jeez.
But more importantly, you're getting a lot of information about what led to the destruction, and you are seeing the buildup and the factions that were spreading, and people. There was a huge portion of the government that was trying to regain control and was urging peace and calm. But the most important thing you pull off the computer is, in fact, what you get off of the flight plans of the shuttlecraft.
That's what I was doing.
And off the, yes.
We don't even need it.
So, without going into, to give you a basic idea of what you extract after 6 hours of working on this, apparently the station, known as Horizon 2, had become a bloodbath. And between the military and the religious zealots that were taking over the government, between everything that was happening, the station became a boiling point and a symbol of authority for whoever could take it would therefore be the ruler of the race, essentially. And after a while, it kind of became known as the Crown. It looks like the military was so successful in holding the station that essentially suicide bombers began attacking the station at its core points, and eventually enough of the Civil War had spilled over from the planet that an all-out battle was waged that, according to the logs, probably lasted about 6 months, trying to take the station. And when it was clear that the station could not be taken, they decided to sabotage it, destroy it from within.
Yeah.
If they couldn't have it, nobody could. In other words, it looks like madness. Senseless violence and madness overtook the species. But there does seem to be clear signs that there were those who were pleading for peace and rationality in science. And those who were not killed trying to mediate that, looks like they staged an escape. And one of these logs seems to hint that 2 scientists in particular decided that they were going to steal the Orb of Journeys with the help of a few of their soldier friends who agreed with them.
I have the gods.
What you're able to put together, whoever these people were, whoever the species were that were able to do it, these Dulagari, according to logs that you've been able to pull, planned for months and staged what must have been a really intense heist. Maybe they weren't too unlike you guys. They broke into a facility and stole the orb right underneath some of the most secure locations. They managed to get off the planet, losing a few members of their team along the way, and when they made it to the station, they were expecting to find a way off-world, but by then a battle had taken place on the station, and the station started to explode halfway through. It was discovered, apparently, what you're able to get from the logs and from, like, recordings, which are actually mostly static, but what you can see is you see a daring escape attempt where 2 of the scientists managed to actually get into one of these shuttles and blast open the doors as everyone's chasing after them. Somebody manned a shuttle to chase after them just as the explosions began to happen on the ship. And you watched as this shuttle blasts its way out of the doors and manages to escape, bumping into the side, scraping. You see sparks flying as the shuttle is getting out in the static of the footage. You see a communication of trajectory. It looks like they were trying to anticipate where they were going so they could intercept. And whoever they were talking to, it looks like a small fleet was being directed. Looks like communications were going out to a small fleet of ships to stop them because they were escaping with the eye of the gods. And you watch in the visuals as this thing jumps to warp. And just as this shuttle is taking off with its known trajectory of where it was, the explosion and the static, you're able to pull all of this information off. It takes about 3 hours to go through all of this, but this is essentially what you get. The history, the downfall, the people, who they were, what their lives were like, a general idea of how long they had been on this planet, the horror and confusion of the appearance of the crystalline entity, the assurances of people on the planet, even those more scientifically minded, seemed to think that they had angered some great entity being of some kind. And then the gradual decline, from there you're not sure. But it looks like once the station was destroyed, technology began to fail in the world. Nothing after that. It's like the records of this species' history just come to a dead stop as it's silenced forever. And judging from what you're able to pull off, it looks like the destruction of the space station and the attack of the crystalline entity sent this race spiraling back to the Stone Age. And then from there, it was just a matter of time. We have to go to break.
Oh.
So when we come back, you've got a trajectory. You got a pretty old breadcrumb in a galaxy that has changed over the past 2,700 years that it's been since they flew out. So you've got a trail. To say that it's cold is being nice.
It's frozen.
You've got a trail. Yeah.
Frozen is okay.
But we've got the momentum, Eric.
You got the touch.
We got the momentum and we're not afraid
So
to
stay
use
tuned. We're going to be back in about 10 minutes. We're going to get to the bottom of this. See you then. But there were some redeemable qualities about the third Matrix movie.
You
Okay,
have got
I-
to
Take
let
us
it
away.
go.
It's
Eric.
done. It's done.
I'm lying. There weren't. There weren't. Oh,
Thank you. We
Ricky
did
is
actually.
off screen saying happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Are you publicly here? Can I shout you out?
Yeah, shut her out. Shut her out.
Shut her
That was Marquia. Marquia's the best.
Marquis is the best. I have here in my notes that it says Marquis is the best.
If you didn't watch this
everyone
week's
who's-
Extra Black Geek Friend special,
It's so good.
okay.
She's so good.
It is, but yes, it is in my notes that our Marquis
That's
is
a
the
good
best.
outfit, too.
Hey, real quick, before we jump back into the game, I just want to take just a few seconds to give all my love to Ryan Green, who's stepping down as a producer here at Geek and Sundry. And I'm just gonna be really straight with you guys. When Marisha, Sean, and I took over at GNS shortly after, I always call it the forest fire, but things weren't going too well, to be blunt. And at the beginning, at the end of 2016, as everybody of our fans know, GNS was going through a pretty tough transition phase where we were trying to find our footing again, and a lot of folks had left to go off and do other projects. There were a lot of reasons to be cynical back then because we didn't know what the heck was going on, and Ryan had a lot of reasons to go look for opportunity elsewhere, but he decided to cast the die and stick with us and trust us. And it was a risky thing because we didn't know where we were going to be. We didn't know if we were going to get the fans to come around. We didn't know what was going to happen. So early 2017 was a scary year in the first couple of months. And it
The
was
first couple months were a scary year.
They were scary.
Yeah.
It was a scary year because we didn't know what the end of the year looked like. We only had an action plan and things that we know we desperately wanted to do. We had a lot of support from LDN coming in behind us. They gave us the keys to the car. They were really helping us push it forward to figure out what it is Geek and Sundry was going to become. And one of the principal architects of that was Ryan Green sticking around and taking a chance on us and sticking with it. And man, he has been such an integral part. He is OG. The dude has been around since the Twitch channel started. He has been an integral part of Geek and Sundry. And it's graduation day for him. He's got a tremendous opportunity. I'm going to let him talk about it. And it's rad, and we're stupid levels of happy for him. But he has been a damn good friend. He is continuing on Lore Masters, of course, so he's sticking around the channel. But as in the prospects of a producer, Ryan helped get us back on our feet, and he helped make this channel exactly what we wanted it to be all over again. The rebirth that GNS went through in 2017 could not have been possible without people that decided to take a chance on it, and Ryan Green was a principal part of that strategy. So I love you, Ryan. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Everyone here loves you. Thank you so much for all of the work you did. Thank you. I'm gonna get all emotional up here. Nice. But yes, thank you, Glitter Lord. And we, of course, will keep seeing him here on the channel, but thank you for all your producing work and stuff. So, my real moment is over, and I'm gonna move back into being GM, because y'all were discovering shit. Mm-hmm. We were Star Trekking. So let's get back to Star Trekking.
Ooh, the science.
Yeah. So, where last we left off? You guys had just uncovered a basic trajectory that the species had managed to plot, a direction, so to speak. They were trying to anticipate where the shuttle was fleeing to. So they got a basic idea as it was jumping to warp. Of course, it's a long shot to say the least, because the star alignments, star charts, everything, this is 2,700 years later. So the Sally Ride is going to have to go full-blown astrometrics to figure this out.
Yeah. We can do
the other thing is you only have that one point going forward. It's possible that wherever they were going, they changed directions multiple times, in which case this just became a huge wild goose chase. But let's find out what the Sally Ride can discover. You have a basic direction.
Yeah.
That this shuttle departed in 2 eons ago.
Yeah. We have a direction.
Yeah.
I have a small question.
Yeah.
I guess it's maybe big.
What's that?
With with our 10, can I know the name of the captain, because I was asked very specifically.
Yep.
And I want to know the name of the defected scientists.
Okay.
Bonnie and Clyde. Pulling off their heist. That's what I was calling them in my brain. I was like, they're Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Stealing the eye of the gods.
I like that.
Doctors Bonnie and Clyde.
Dr. Bonnie, Dr.
I tell you what. If you spend 10. Okay.
We did get 10 successes.
So but here's the thing. Successes in Star Trek Adventures does not in any way dictate how much information you get. That's momentum.
It's a lot of bonus momentum that we have floating.
The bonus momentum you got.
How much bonus
that's
momentum
different.
do we have?
I think...
Or we just have
We have a few more. We have like 2
Because it was
more.
4 difficulty, then we got 10 total, so we had 6. And then I think we put down...
It took 3.
And we took
took-
2
to get back up.
for this.
Right.
So how many are floating?
So we should have like at least 3 left.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. I'm just quoting Clue now. I'm not
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
Flames on the side of my
So I would say 2 to 3
do I?
momentum floating.
Yeah. I mean,
like that.
enough.
We spent some to get rid of a complication. Was that an earlier roll?
That was earlier.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Eric was all, I got a threat, and we were all, no, you don't.
Excellent reconstruction, Captain.
Oh no, that was that
This
roll.
was this roll.
That was that roll because it was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, that was
with the
all
complication.
sewn up. So we'd have to obtain information for it, I think. But those names are the worth it-est.
Yeah. I think worth
Do
it.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
spend 1, obtain information, get them names.
More so than the pilot/captain that was trying to chase after him.
No, that's why I said. Yeah, like that one. That was for specific.
I will understand. I'm not,
Nope, we're buying it. It's your birthday.
I mean, this is technically in the. We found the documents that there was a person chasing them,
Right.
and we know that they knew that 2 scientists had stolen it, and so it's technically within the realm that I might find all 3 names.
Right. What Dr. Throlo wants, Throlo gets. Anywho.
I'm so happy right now.
So that would be good.
Okay.
Okay, so we're
Here.
spending it. How
Spend
much
it.
would you like me to spend?
I would say 3 momentum.
Okay.
We have at
So
least
we
1 or 2 floating.
We had
At
2
least.
floating or 1 floating.
One
floating. Okay, so goodbye, and then 2.
Great.
Okay. So what you're able to get, digging through these logs,
Yeah.
this takes a fair amount of time. We're gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
say there's been a time elapse, so it's the next day,
Cool.
next
Yeah.
morning
We
shift.
slept.
It's 6 hours. I had an
Have I
eventful...
slept? No.
Nah.
No?
My
much.
finger, I'm just like ready.
I slept like a
Oh
baby.
man,
Doctor?
Jiv would have been all over that. He would have been like, "No, you're
Yeah.
going to sleep."
Yep.
But there's so much.
I know, and it's gonna
but-
be here tomorrow, so you're going to sleep.
I sleep in the shuttle.
We don't do this anymore, Mama.
Okay.
We don't do this anymore.
can I?
No, I don't know what you're about to say. The answer is no.
But can
If it doesn't
I
involve
just
going to
sleep
bed.
here just in case? Like, can I just bring the cots down? Can I do that?
Absolutely, except no.
What? But
Go to
that's
your
a good
quarters.
compromise.
Mala, don't make me use the order. I'll use the order line on you. I'll pull it.
You wouldn't dare.
I absolutely would.
I liked you better before you were commander.
That whole conversation, I was hiding in the shuttle, like with a pillow, going, "Dang it!" And I sneak out and
Yeah,
go to
as
bed
you go,
too.
you see a Tellarite's head just slide into view.
I'm like sleeping under a console, like yeah.
Ensign Lark Sage, by my beard, if you do not get out of that shuttle and report to your quarters.
I just pick up my little pillow.
Good. Man, we are so undisciplined on this freaking ship, man.
Would you like me to lay down the law, sir?
It's just
It's like,
nerds,
oh,
yeah.
I've got something to do this episode. Crack my knuckles.
The rule breaking we do is like we work too hard. It's like that's our
No
problem.
breaking the ruse.
I'd like to see them try. Anyone who that
So-
applies to.
So the next morning meeting is essentially
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
just collaborating, connecting on what you've learned so far, and then getting back to work. You're able to extrapolate more data.
Yes.
This takes more and more hours of time. Again, lots of data to sift through, but what's exciting about it is you're discovering that there's connections
Yeah.
here and there to everything that's happening. And after a few hours with those 3 momentum spin, what you learn is this captain's name was Margovo. And he knew personally these 2 scientists. Oh. And his order was to kill them.
Oh, sad.
And it looked like he was about to carry that out. But judging from logs and transmissions made, data packets, emails essentially, what you learn is that they were once friends. This captain and these other 2.
Sucks.
And he began the order to track him down and kill him, and he was about to do it when the shuttle bay popped.
What does this remind me of?
The scientists,
Yeah.
Ote Kai and Lu Rani were the 2 scientists. And apparently they were both
Lu
very...
Rani.
Lu, L-U, and then R-A-N-I.
I did it.
Lu Rani.
Do it.
Got that wrong.
It's Lu apostrophe R-A-N-I. So what you learn about those 2, apparently, is they were very vocal. And they were Otakai had spent some time in the civilian government. And him and Lurani worked very closely together. Judging from what you're able to uncover, it looks like the 2 of them had secretly planned on trying to get this orb away long time ago. And then when things reached a pitch, they decided it was their last shot.
Yeah.
And they used the chaos of what was happening on the station. They were not in any way connected to it, but they used the chaos of what was going on the station to get it off planet to the station, and then try to do a transfer. But it looks like they were betrayed at one point from the trail that you followed, and they hijacked a shuttle in a moment of desperation. It looks like they just jumped. They just plotted a course and warped.
Are we currently in a meeting right
Yeah,
now?
we're in a meeting. I found you a name and I got you 2 better.
So there's a really interesting story coming together of a war for the soul of the species lost. It looks like 2 scientists in a fit of desperation took the orb and just tried to run with it. It would be like somebody grabbing the Holy Grail and just running, so that in hopes that the absence of would somehow make things right. It was a Hail Mary, essentially. They were just trying to, it was a moment of desperation. So whoever they were, they jumped in that shuttle and they took off.
Did we learn anything by studying the body of Captain Markovo? Did that give us any other insight?
Only that it looks like that a combination of destroying the interior of the shuttle along with the explosions that were taking place caused a significant rupture inside the shuttle bay, and it looks like he was just really unlucky because the shuttle bay didn't suffer any significant damage, but that shuttle cockpit apparently was hit by debris. So it was just
Probably didn't have shields up or anything.
doesn't look like the species has shields. Doesn't look like they had shielding
There's a
technology.
reverse problem.
No shielding technology.
Risky business. Did any digging that Commander Rue did yield any results with weapons, specialties, or anything?
They rolled so well that we didn't end up having cryptographic stuff.
Yeah. So Yeah, it looks like
Excellent.
it looks like they had plasma-based weapons. It looks like they were in the early phase of weaponry that was equivalent to disruptor or plasma-based weapons.
Okay.
Surprisingly, it looks like they found sort of the same tech that the Romulans and the Klingons like to use for weapons. It's not as elegant or it doesn't have the precision scalpel-like abilities of a phaser per se, but it was geared for destruction, and it looks like they did a pretty good effect. You also uncover some of the information about their fleets too. They had battleships in space, essentially. They didn't have the elegant designs of like starships. They were more like big chunks of metal with weapon emplacements all over them in space.
Here's an important question. Any deep space stations or locations that they travel to and would frequent to? Any places that two travelers trying to escape might go towards?
I'll give that to you. It looks like the species had only just begun interstellar travel, and not too many of them had left the solar system before. And those who did came right back as an exploratory mission.
So no first contact with any other species?
Doesn't look like the
Other
only
than the
first
crystalline
contact they
entity,
ever
right?
had was the crystalline entity.
Wow, that's such shitty luck. We got Vulcans and they got the crystalline entity. Cool.
Yeah, they rolled a 20. What's up?
This is Lark in the meeting.
Okay,
Ensign?
Captain, I have an idea. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I think with Lieutenant Commander's Talon's help and Lieutenant Baker, we might be able to pull this off. If I can pull off some of the navigational charts of the star systems from their data, and then coincide it with the data that we have now, we can maybe
Get a rough estimate of the
get
stars.
a rough estimate of the stars,
2,700 years
as
ago.
well as if we just kind of slowly warp jump to what they were capable of in the kind of direction that they were aimed for, and we can do like a sweep of maybe possible M-class planets or
Well,
any type of thing that they might have landed.
That's the
or
next step.
Sorry.
It's true.
That
We
is the
also
next step.
can't rule out that the orb might have given them special abilities to move about. I mean, it's the orb of journeys, right?
Oh my gosh, Shiv goes, you're absolutely right. What if they had mystical course plotting to
Wait,
be
are
placed?
you saying that the orb could give this vessel, these escaping people, the ability to, like, wormhole to another section of the galaxy?
Well, I don't know about
Who
wormhole,
knows?
but
I mean, maybe not wormhole, but at least maybe kind of what. I mean, Q brought us to wherever, and I mean, if this is
I've
this
been reading up
orb
on
is-
this. Jiv pipes in. I've been reading up on this, and from what I hear from records from DS9, is apparently the orb can give visions, I guess.
Kind of like the visions that we all shared.
Maybe? I don't know. But there have been reports of it, that the orb has the capacity to give some kind of vision. So it's possible maybe this orb told him where to go. I tend to think that
Yeah.
I tend to think more like, as scientists, my instinct tells me that they probably had a destiny. I mean,
Right.
they planned this, you know what I mean? My instinct tells me that that's just me, but
And-
I feel like they...
The chief is right. We can't rule anything out, but before we get to that, we have to follow the path that is
Yeah.
laid out in front of us. At least follow that to its logical conclusion, its logical end, and then from there, we can explore other opportunities. But I think that our next best bet is to try to recreate that heading, that flight pattern.
Okay.
We can take a shot at correlating it as well. You said you got cultural documents off of it?
yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
There was a religious awakening related to the orb. We can
Yeah.
see if anything in the cultural data suggests something of astronomical or astrological significance to that religious faction. If it's along the same vector, it's suggestive that maybe we're heading in the right direction and they didn't just jump in the first direction they saw because they were under fire.
And if the doctor knows enough about the species from her studies, we can determine what planets they might have been able to survive on,
Sure.
or what
With their
environments
level
they
of
could have.
technology, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Okay, we got another busy day ahead of us. I hope everybody got a good night of sleep.
Great.
Always, sir.
Actually, yeah.
Okay. So, getting down to it then. I'm going to have Talon make a roll, and I'm going to do an assist from Lieutenant Baker.
Can I also assist with my navigation focus?
No, I'm going to leave it up to them on this one. I'm only going to allow two on working on this one.
Okay.
But Sally can assist.
Okay. What's she assisting with?
All right. Sally is going to use...
I'll just sit at the helm waiting for it.
Computer
think-
science, sensor
like-
science.
I think sensor science for Sally.
It's coordinates.
Okay.
And then Talon So, just to be clear, this is going to be a tricky roll. I'm going to set the difficulty at this of 5. You're trying to triangulate data from what the galaxy looked like 2,000 years ago against a trajectory of a shuttlecraft that shot off in one direction. You're putting all this data together. I think you guys can do this, but so I'm going to roll here. So Sally's going to roll that. Yeah, what's up?
Would you say, given the significance of all of this to Talon, that there's a
Determination?
directive and determination
Yes.
that would be applicable here?
Yes. I would say yes. Yes, absolutely. And if not, then definitely Lieutenant Baker. So I'm just going to go ahead. It doesn't matter who it is.
There is
but
an auto-crit
There's
happening.
an auto-crit happening, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll go
I
ahead
think
and
we'd like
attach
to apply
Yes.
cautious for momentum as well.
Yes.
Give her
Okay.
an extra
Give her an
die
extra die.
and a reroll.
All right, here we go.
It's logical.
Oops, that was... I wish I had spent threat. Okay, so...
No takesies, backsies.
Okay.
You're rolling for the PCs.
So okay. So what did Sally get? 1 success. Okay, so 6 successes.
Ooh.
All right.
So 1 momentum back. Yay!
Okay. So that's gonna take the better half of the day.
And I'm just waiting at the helm. Just waiting. Ready.
So we'll go ahead and lose one momentum. We're gonna cut to a new scene. Much like in a Star Trek episode, we cut back to the bridge as Talon steps back on the bridge with Lieutenant Baker in tow, and she says, "Captain, I believe we have something." And she walks over to the sensors. What's up?
Just a quick thing, since Sally was assisting, would that have been a 4, or was it originally a 5?
No, it was a 5.
With Sally's help.
6
is
down
what
to
it
It
is.
is
5.
one momentum. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what
No,
you're
I
asking?
know. I'm saying because when Sally assists, doesn't it bring the difficulty down
Only
one?
when sensors are being used.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
using 'em.
was.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it would have been. That's correct. So you would have gained 2 momentum.
An
Cool.
extra momentum.
Thank you. I totally forgot about that.
Nice.
Okay, so
I'm on it.
Talon steps down over to the science station, flanked by Lieutenant Baker, and you see she enters a few pieces of data onto the LCARs, and it comes up on the main screen. And you see a bunch of possible trajectories, but Talon has narrowed down the most likely, and you do see that about 22 light years from here is an M-class planet along that trajectory path in an uncharted system.
Would it have been there 2,700 years ago? I imagine yes.
Judging from the information that Talon has, she has managed,
Yes.
with Baker, she's managed to basically follow the movement of the galaxy spiral.
That is
Wow.
so
And
cool.
it has been
Wow.
able to predict.
Damn, the galaxy
The
spiral.
galactic spiral, she's able to predict exactly where this was. I mean, we do it today.
Yeah.
She's able to do it on a much more refined base using Sally Ride sensors.
And in a cool hologram.
She's able to pinpoint,
Magic.
yes. And with
Cool.
Lieutenant Baker helping her. So
Really
she's
cool
actually,
visual effects in this sequence, guys,
Yes.
if you can imagine.
Yeah, basically
half
the
the season's
CGI
budget.
effects of
Yeah.
like the galaxy vehicle, like dragging and pulling, but she triangulates the most likely destination, 22 light years away from sensor probe data that you guys remember when you all shot off the 3 probes. A lot of the information that was coming back, you're actually able to cast a wide net, and because the areas in which y'all were looking, you got this great field of vision in the direction y'all were headed. And it just so happens that one of these uncharted systems, which doesn't even have this designation, does have an M-class planet on it that you were able to detect as Sally looks into deep space to pinpoint where the ship could have gone.
It's impressive. Very impressive.
And you hear Ziv off to the side just go, "God damn, I love this ship."
It's
mean,
a
and
fine
you-
science vessel.
I knew they were going to be able to pull it off, but it's still impressive.
We'll fix it in post. It was really cool.
All right.
Guys, somebody's going to add really crappy planets, like to
I know.
really crappy like Microsoft Paint
It's gonna be
planets.
like a mobile, like a
You guys are all pretending like, oh, it's amazing.
Wow.
Look how incredible this is. It's gonna
Saturn,
be like
burp, Earth.
yeah. It's gonna be like a beach ball.
Yeah. Whoa.
Y'all are asking for it.
A beach ball.
beach
Boring.
planet.
All right.
Well, we have our path. Shall we?
All right, everybody, let's say goodbye to this system.
3 days you've spent here
Yeah.
investigating everything. You all take one last look at the view screen as you see again the glint of blue light from the sun on this piece of debris from this great ancient station off in the distance, and then the barren world down below.
I'm not too sentimental. We have a souvenir that we're taking back to Starfleet.
You have
eventually,
managed
so.
to preserve a
Yeah.
culture that's been dead for 2,000 years.
We did a good
It's
thing.
quite. You guys should definitely get some kind of milestone for
Yeah, we
the
should.
work you guys pulled on this.
Gold star.
Do you know the number of publications Talon and Baker can
Yeah.
get out of this?
It's
Yeah.
true.
And
Yeah.
Dr.
We
Frollo.
happen to find
Public
anything
species.
about burial traditions in that data dump?
Yeah, we got the cultural stuff.
We got the cultural stuff.
did.
I heard that.
we don't know
these particular ones are religious.
I definitely think yes.
Yes.
I definitely think you would. Yeah.
So so I'm gonna. I'm most likely going to record everything I can and then.
Do you want to have that ceremony before you leave system?
Yes.
Yeah.
Captain Markovo and Omataya are both going to get the best we can.
Okay.
Offer
You all
best
meet
we
in
can
the
deliver.
shuttle bay. They are. Jiv manages to, taking off the database, manages to actually replicate a flag to lay over their torpedo.
And again,
to lay
that
over the
Starfleet
casing.
graphic designer's like, yes, they've just
Yeah.
been having a great 3 days of like, oh, okay, sweet. What do we need? All right.
Yeah, I get a paycheck this week.
We don't have money.
But
Yeah.
when,
Oh, that's right.
It's a small ceremony with just senior staff. It's not anything too big, but you guys do enter into the cargo bay where the ceremony is taking place. The flag is draped over the torpedo tubes, or they're not really torpedo tubes anymore, but they're like the containment pods. And the doors, you hear the alarms just got sunning off as the doors open, and now you can physically see that distant blue star and the glowing the iridescence of that purple planet that orbits close to the blue star and the vastness of space. And they come and take in a very ceremonial fashion, they take it off, and it looks like their traditions of burial are actually very similar. They're very naval, very similar to traditions that you've seen in multiple species. Kind of an amalgamation of words being said in salutes. But you also notice, and this would be something Rue you would note, is that judging from what you understand of the religious doctrine, it looks like they view death very similar to how Klingons do. When the body is, when someone dies, the body is just discarded. It's just useless. However, Jiv replicates the flag and refuses to just discard these two. So the flag is removed, and we'll just say for the purposes that a ceremony is held in remembrance. Matazi in particular shows some sentiment towards the doctor that they're sending off into space, patting the casing and closing his eyes and praying gently and quietly to himself in an old Cation tradition, and then bowing and moving away from the torpedo, or the casing. And tractor beams activate and they send these two on the way, and you just see them gently float out into space towards the blue sun. As you send these two on their final journey. However, they are preserved thanks to the incredible efforts of the crew of the USS Sally Ride. People will know their names and they'll know their lives now.
And the planet's name. What was the planet's name?
Oh, yeah.
What's the name? Oh, where did I pull that?
Yeah, we had a designation, but we didn't have the planet.
Actually, the planet is very keeping of a lot of the species that you all know. It's particularly y'all are called Terrans. It looks like the world was generally just referred to as the Dula Guy
The Dula guy, yeah.
or Dula Guy.
Cool.
Yep.
So we're leaving Dula guy, setting the
Dula Guy
course
system,
for 22 light years away. Ensign.
Okay, I'm your little bird. Let's follow the breadcrumbs.
All right. So we'll go ahead and do a long cut. Is there any scenes you guys want to play out as you are traveling upward? Because now's the time. If there's any scenes that have been, on hold for a while.
I could think of two.
Really,
I've been listening to the Aux crew chat about some of the people they'd like to see talk to each other.
Oh, no one's.
But
no one's
I'll
ever
leave
gonna
that to y'all if y'all feel like
anyone. Hi, Gina. You're the one person at that table who's not avoiding me.
Hi.
No.
I'm not. Let's do it.
Hey, Bonnie.
Oh, good.
Oh, so where is this happening?
No. I wasn't prepared. I only had 3 months.
I can hear Liam as Storm Rage saying, "You were not prepared."
The rest of us are like getting a drink somewhere, just hanging out.
All right.
Yeah.
If that's
I
the
go and get
case,
some cereal.
then
I bang my gong. I eat.
after shift.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So we'll just stop by my office, will you, Sage? After duty shift.
Sure,
Okay.
sir.
So then we'll say duty
Oh, I'm
shift,
still on duty for like a couple more hours, so.
and then we're gonna go ahead and
Yeah, no, that just gets to sink in.
I need to play it out.
I need to real time this.
I need to real
think you can wait
time
till about
this.
10 p.m.
As the screen
Anything
wipe is
could
happening,
happen.
Sage stops it and is trying to push it back. We have a Spaceballs moment.
Commercial break.
All right, so duty shift comes to an end, and you find yourself standing outside Rue's office / quarters. It's been months, but I'm guessing Sage probably has an idea of what this is about.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's see.
Come in.
I almost ran. Commander?
I'm guessing you have some idea what this is about?
I can guess.
You feel Dryden step up next to you, and he sits down in a seat just across, sitting oblivious, of course, that Bonnie doesn't know that you're seeing him in your mind's eye, but he sits right next to Lark and is just looking at her with a small smile on his face.
You want to talk to me about what it is?
I know a lot of time has passed, and I almost. If it's about what I think it's about. Commander, I've never really been able to trust anyone. Ever. And I know what losing trust feels like. And a few months ago, I saw you lose trust in yourself and your actions and your mind. And I swear, putting that in your console was just a precaution. I actually even went to the captain first and asked him, and he said he gave me permission if I approached you first.
Well, isn't that a thing? Dryden turns and stares at you.
Oh, you sympathized with her the last time we talked. Don't start getting on a high horse now.
That was before I found out the captain said it was okay. I thought she was taking her own initiative.
We were in that meeting.
Dryden he gets quiet again.
I knew if I approached you and told you about me, I guess, bugging your console, that we wouldn't actually ever know if you were doing things out of your own actions or not. The only reason I put it in there was in case you did anything out of the ordinary, out of your normal routine, or anything that would actually cause any harm to the crew or the ship. I wasn't like trying to spy or anything.
Yes, she was.
I remember when you were trying to figure out what was going on, and in my own way, I guess I was just trying to help. And then everything happened with Q and the Klingons backing out of the Federation and the war and Klingons. And I mean, a lot has happened. I can't even go through it all now, but it's almost like a forgotten memory. And now you know what's happened, and there's no need for it. And I mean,
And you kept it in there.
I never even thought to take it out.
I need to ask you something. Because I was in that meeting. But I didn't ask the captain whether you went to this and cleared this with him afterward. If you hadn't, I wanted to talk to you before he knew that you've done this. Did you talk to the captain and okay this with him?
I did not, Commander. I knew that if the captain wanted me to tell you if I did it. And I knew if I told you, then if whatever was, I don't know, wrong with you, when you were losing control of your actions, what if you subconsciously would know that something was there and you would go to a different console or change your actions to where it would work around it? Like I knew you wanted answers, and I felt with the security code being given away to Zazaret and other things that we were in such a delicate situation in case it was going to harm any of the crew or Sally Ride. I don't know. It was a rash action.
Do you think you did the right thing?
I don't think I did the wrong thing. I don't think I did it in the right way.
Good answer. You gonna kill her?
It's
I
not
don't hear that.
the done thing.
Just ask it. You have an expectation of me that I like to play with sometimes.
Commander, there's one other thing.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Oh, now is the time.
I believe someone also had access to my console in my quarters, I received a message back when our system was getting wiped by Starfleet intelligence.
Godverdomme. That was quite a while ago.
It was around the same time I planted the bug in your console, to
What
be
was it?
honest. Was it? I
What-
don't remember.
no.
It
This is
What
just
was it?
before.
was just before.
It's roughly gonna be.
Yeah, roughly about the same.
Right, I saw him in that episode. What was it?
It's about my parents. My real parents. Look, I understand that I should have come to you a long time ago. But just, for a second, imagine, like, from the time you were 3, you were told things. Actually, I don't even know how old I was. I don't even know how old I am now. Just being lied to your entire life and then finding out a whole other truth. And I guess I just have a hard time trusting people. Now that I know my real name and know that Talon and I are somewhat distantly related, I guess it doesn't seem as scary now. Another reason why I didn't come forth and tell you or the captain is because I found out... Okay, here goes. Just gonna let it all out. Not only were my true parents alive, but they were in the Maquis. And the last thing I wanted was for any of you all to judge me and think that I could be in somewhat a jeopardy to the Saluride.
That was boring.
Look, Commander, I love this crew. I love this ship. And I know I should probably just turn in my badge, and I've made mistakes and I've broken the rules. And if that's something that I need to be punished for, then I understand.
You're an officer. What do you think I should do?
To be honest, Commander, with everything, with the war, with the Dominion, with the visions, with the orb, with the Shackleton Expanse, I don't even know what Starfleet is anymore out here.
She'd make a good 31 agent.
Not until the heat death of the universe.
I used to recruit. I know him when I see him.
Look, Commander, I don't deserve to be on the ship. I don't feel like I'm supposed to be here. I'm technically not supposed to be here. But I'm here now, and if you think that due punishment is for me to leave Starfleet, then...
Not supposed to be here.
I was originally assigned to an engineering team on Starbase 1.
What changed?
The records.
Oh, 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 I told you I can spot them. Oh.
You have to understand, I found out my parents were alive, and if I was going to be stuck on a starbase, there was never any chance I was going to find them ever.
Oh my god.
I had to get on some kind of starship.
She falsified Starfleet records to get on board the USS Sally Ride. And she was made helmswoman of the ship.
Oh yeah, we're keeping her.
Oh man, keep her.
Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to hear this, but it's very entertaining.
Wow.
Commander, all I've ever wanted since I found out that I had family out there was to find them. They're most likely dead. The Maquis been wiped out. And so now I've had to come to terms with that and realize that my family's here. Anyway, I understand if you have to tell the captain, and if I need to, I don't know, take a shuttle back to the station and...
She thinks we're gonna leave her in a spacesuit and just kick her off the ship.
I'll take a shuttle.
She'll learn her value someday. All right. Well, I have to say, since I found this out, I've been wondering whether you want to be here. Because sabotaging the Chief of Security's console is a good way to sabotage yourself.
It was more of just a...
I understand.
There wasn't anything, I wouldn't
Sage.
see anything. It was just
Sage.
a warning, a
Sage.
alarm.
You've always seemed like you've wanted to be somewhere else. You've tried to transfer off the ship that you falsified records to get on. So it's almost a relief to know that there's some motivation behind that. You endangered security on my ship. And on... Yeah, the commendation record says at minimum 4 instances, you contributed single-handedly to saving the entire ship. Piloting through asteroid fields, engaging in ship combat along a new tactical doctrine of a new class, piloting small craft expertly, working outside of your area of operations in order to bring additional value to the team. So I would say that the application papers to put you on the list toward Lieutenant JG look good even with this in mind. I'm going to have to include it, but I'd say we can make a very strong application. Of course, it'll look much better once you and I work together, scrub every vestige of computer insecurity from every system on the entirety of the Sally Ride, and thereafter, You are going to assist me in all related intelligence operations in order to recover data for all of the families on the USS Sally Ride who are currently in jeopardy because of the Theater of the Dominion War. That is all of our Trill staff aboard, that is all of our Betazoids. Vulcan is now under threat, we have to check in. Naturally, all of the Bajorans on board, and that is inclusive of the Maquis. Do you understand what we are going to do to fix this?
Yes, Commander. Do you say Lieutenant Commander?
Lieutenant Junior grade.
Lieutenant. That's
Give
what I
it
meant.
time.
Lieutenant. So you're not going to put me in the brig?
Poor kid.
Now that you mention it.
Dryden just leans forward and goes, "Poor kid doesn't know the promotion is actually its own prison sentence."
Oh, but she'll learn. You are working on the same thing, by the way. This is how we treat our ensigns. We don't murder them at all.
Never murdered any ensigns.
I mean,
Good, she'll be lieutenant soon.
I honestly don't know what to say, Commander. I'll do anything I can to help, and I promise no more,
Oh, certainly not. But
And-
you're right about one thing. We're your family aboard this ship. Some of us by blood, and some of us by love.
Thank you, Commander.
Get out of my office.
Yes, sir.
The door is closed behind you, Lark. And you're in the hallway. A few ensigns walk by, nod to you.
I just walk in. Like, where is...
In a daze, you just kind of wander down the hallway.
Eric, question. Above game, did Martinez know about the falsification of the records to get on the Sally Ride?
None of us did.
No.
She dropped one detail in session 0 once.
There was a hint.
The only time she ever said
but that has been a
And-
secret that Bonnie's been sitting on
And
since
in
we started this
Zadis'
game.
conversation when...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
to know.
yeah, that was a piece of backstory.
That was
Yeah.
real good.
That, I was wondering, episode 45 is when it finally came out.
I had to fly somewhere to see them.
We'll play the long game here on
So
Shield.
damn mad.
We play
were
the
getting
long game
assigned
here on
to-
Shielded tomorrow.
Why do you think I kept trying to transfer? Because we kept going further and further away, and I'm like, wait, fun fact. No, maybe I'll keep that.
No.
Well, no,
Wait for
it's
episode
out.
90. Wait for
It's
that.
out. The secret's out. Fun fact, Lark Sage almost put herself on the Voyager, and then instead,
Because of Harry Kim.
no.
Nope, can't take that away from us.
But Harry
That's
Kim
why
was-
she
Okay,
switched.
sure.
That's right.
She was like, oh,
somewhere
maybe
else.
the Sally
Maybe
Ride.
I'm somewhere else.
That's great.
Okay.
Man.
Sally Ride drops out of warp.
Perfect timing.
And we're
The
back.
cells fold back into place.
This is the next day, maybe?
I don't have my warp calculator in front of me, so members of the Ox crew are going to be like, it's 4 days, 32 hours, 12 minutes. I don't have it in front
Give
of
me a minute.
But it's been some time. Some time has passed. 22 light years have passed. It depends on what warp you engaged at. But
Does this
essentially,
It does.
Sally Ride comes out of warp on the edge of the system. It is an unknown system, and I've got some descriptors for you.
Okay. Just so you know, Lark Sage is like 10 pounds lighter.
Yes.
It's like she had a diet
Real quick.
and like
Yeah, Mala's just staring
just
at
like
you.
the weight is off of their shoulder.
Oh yeah, she must feel so different. You feel really different, but I'm
Just
not
like-
gonna say anything because that's rude.
Oh, you
much
feel a
anxiety or-
smirk from me all the time.
So then, here's my question.
Yeah.
In this time, has a formal submission been made to the captain of recommendation of promotion for Ensign Lark Sage?
Oh my god.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it has?
So you receive a recommendation for promotion for Lark Sage to be promoted to rank of junior grade for
And
outstanding
everything-
service.
Of course, and everything in her record is in her record, including what they went over.
You tell me, You tell me, Commander.
Yeah, this is, yeah, okay. All right.
You tell me, Commander.
Dryden has changed you.
Oh no, I've always covered for y'all in my logs. Y'all don't even know.
What am I looking at, Commander? What is this?
Yeah.
You do not see that she falsified to get on here.
Oh,
Okay, we're gonna have some problems. Okay.
Secret.
That has been left off. Instead, you see a sparkling.
But you do see all the other nonsense.
Oh, for sure.
I will say, yes, I might have finagled some things, but it was approved to get on this. Like, they wouldn't have just.
because it was false.
No, Bonnie.
Right?
I'll let Lark rationalize her way out of it.
But you did a bad thing.
Can I just use
You did a real bad thing.
my value
You're a
that
liar.
rules were
Give me
meant
a
to
scene.
be
I don't wanna put
bent,
it on
and we'll just
paper.
go with that. And there it is.
So
Okay,
you,
okay, hang on. I just got a revelation.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to put it on paper.
Oh, okay. So when you present it, okay, then we need
Yeah,
to play
no,
that scene
I
out.
want to.
We got to play that scene out.
Yeah.
So
What am I looking at,
Let
Commander?
me
What
let
is
me
this?
set the scene up for you then.
Talk about me.
You are holding the data pad, and you've gone over it, and the words have just come out of Rue's mouth as to everything that Rue is intended to tell you about that is not being kept on record on that data pad. So Rue has literally just told you everything. Exposition. So we can cut to it. So
Oh no. So he knows.
Commander and
everything now?
Captain are now standing in are now in a quiet ready room as you're holding that data pad.
She's a tricky little bird.
Okay.
I can only Martinez. I will give you this. I'll just throw a little at you. You are catching just that slight like scent of the Kobayashi Maru on some of
You had to say that. You had to say that.
throw that at you.
Good job. That's a prompt right there.
Tell you what, I'll be nice about it. I'll make it. I spent a threat to throw that at you. How's that? Just inject that into the scene.
We're gonna go ahead and ship that to Starfleet for their approval as soon as possible. Excellent work, Commander. I should let you know that I'm gonna have a conversation with Ensign Sage.
Cringe.
A conversation that's not gonna appear in any records at all, but it's something I have to do.
That's absolutely your prerogative, sir. I
But-
warn you, it can take months.
But for the record and off the record, Commander, if it wasn't already aware, I am in total agreement about Lark and her performance and her value, and I've got your back.
I appreciate it, sir. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be embarrassing to me as Chief of Security to have some of those disciplinary actions in writing.
Yeah, but, rules are meant to be broken, so
Yep, and when broken, meant to be disciplined.
yes. Excellent work. All right, so if you'll excuse me, bye.
So
Captain to Ensign Sage, where are you?
So Martinez, just real quick.
New
to let you
combat.
know,
Who dis?
For promotions on this level,
Yes.
you can absolutely do field promotion no problem and do not require
Oh.
Starfleet approval. However,
yeah,
it
field.
is a formality that you do submit that to Starfleet.
It's a formality.
But as captain, you have total authority to promote her to
Okay.
lieutenant junior grade.
Much better
This is going
That's good
way
to know.
off.
put the papers
That's
through,
good to
but,
know.
like,
Yeah.
That's good to know. So,
Proof it. Let
where-
everything simmer.
Computer,
So-
where is Ensign Sage?
You're where I am because I'm still like. Is it your? Did you get a new hair? Like what? Is it the hair?
Okay,
Is it
then
the-
we'll say then.
Yeah, I'm on
then-
the probably on the. Bridge.
Yeah, we'll say this.
Yeah.
We'll just say that this is moments after you've been pulled into your ready room, and so you know that Sage is in fact at the helm at the moment.
Okay, great.
I'm at the helm, Captain. Where you?
No, you wouldn't have-
No.
Commander, you're dismissed. Can you send the ensign in here, please?
Aye, sir.
Thank you so much.
So,
I just tap her on the shoulder and say, time for the principal's office. And I continue on down to deck 5.
an ensign comes and takes the chair and gives you kind of a strange look, but then averts their eyes back down to the control panel and.
Okay.
Okay.
Everything just shifted again. What is going on?
I go into the ready room.
Okay.
Ensign, have a seat. Ensign, I'm going to be very frank with you right now. The commander has given me your officially drawn up request for your promotion.
It's extremely unexpected, and
And it's deserved. It's well deserved. I'm going to tell you right now that I have sent it off to Starfleet as for our protocol requests, but it's been approved. You're now a lieutenant.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Sage.
Is the next one black or yellow?
It's black.
Just squish it on there somehow.
I'm just gonna hold it.
Get your pips together.
Says Rue.
I'm a bitch. Okay.
Lieutenant, you have proven time and time again how valuable you are to the ship, how essential your skills are, and how much you care about everybody on this crew. I am also going to tell you off of the records that Commander Rue informed me that you falsified records to be assigned to the Sally Ride.
Did they explain why, Captain?
Yes. And despite the explanation, I want you to know that when I was told this, that I realized that that was possibly the most selfish act I have heard of that a Starfleet officer has undergone.
I understand, Captain.
It is something that I take very seriously, that you took advantage of this organization so that you could try and find people whom you have lost. And the only thing I can say to you is that, as I'm sure you've already become aware, because of your records, because of your record here on the ship, everyone has lost people, Lieutenant. Everyone has. And for you to do what you did meant that you put your own life and your own wishes and desires, however good and pure and noble they may be, and they were very noble, you put all of that above having somebody who is the most qualified person being able to be on the ship. Now, we lucked out, Lieutenant. We lucked out because we also happened to have gotten the most qualified person to be at the helm. But you took a risk, and you risked the lives of your fellow Starfleet officers. And I'm also going to tell you, off of the record, that what you have been dealing with Starfleet, you're not knowing if you believe in what this is completely normal. And this is just me, Raphael, speaking right now, Larg. I share those same sentiments. Okay? But this ship is still full of people who need you to watch their backs.
I understand, Captain. I would never do anything to jeopardize Sally Ride or the crew
It's something
or the
you
ship.
didn't understand then, and I believe that by now you have learned to respect that and understand that. Your record shows it, your interactions with your fellow crew members show it, and your importance to the ship and your well-being and your relationships, they have all shown that. But as of right now, Lieutenant, in my eyes, you are the most selfish person on this crew.
That's fair.
You're still a damn good officer, and that's why that's why you are now a lieutenant. But that is how I see you now. And it was an incredibly selfish thing to do.
You're right, Captain.
Now, I'm glad that you did it. And I can feel both of those things at the same time.
I'm glad I did it too, Captain. I'd be stuck on a starbase pushing buttons.
And we might be dead if you didn't do what you did. As you know, sometimes, especially with a place like Starfleet, rules and regulations, sometimes the good of the one outweighs the needs of the many. Sometimes. But I hope that you have come to learn that you are one of many, many, many people here on this ship with lives and childhoods and upbringings and desires and hopes and wishes and dreams, noble ones at that are relying on you to put them before yourself. And that's our job every single day at this job. We have to put everybody else's needs in front of our own.
I understand, Captain.
I thought you might. I'm gonna go ahead and update the ship in our daily logs so that everyone's aware that they'll have to be calling you a different thing when they run into you in the halls. Lieutenant, I really hope that you, whatever you decide to do in your career,
Just making sure.
I hope that you stay on the Sally ride for it as long as you want to.
To be honest, Captain, searching for my family was a success.
All right, dismissed.
Thank you, Captain. As I leave the ready room, I go,
And as you enter the bridge,
I'm gonna say fill up your momentum pool.
right?
What's that?
Fill up your momentum pool.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna give you guys 2 momentum.
Excellent. I don't know what the procedure is exactly, but I will.
wait,
Captain's log, supplemental. Enter all of that in on top of, just a heads up, everybody on the, it doesn't have to be like an intercom message. It can just be like a thing that will pop up on everybody's. It's
Oh, yeah, it's a
thank
memo.
you. It's a shipwide
get it.
memo.
I mean, you can put it
Right.
on the intercom.
No, that's not gonna happen. It's a shipwide memo.
Essentially, what happens is after the notice has been given, the next day when you report to shift before you guys come out of warp, you when you step onto the bridge crew turns and applauds as you walk on board. And the captain, you are introduced as Lieutenant Sage.
And I have to do it.
And a pip is offered to you.
I have to do it, though. Lieutenant Sage. Okay.
And you're ordered to take your seat at the helm, Lieutenant.
Okay.
And then we drop out of warp.
Yeah, and about that point, and the nacelles fold into place. All right. Arrival at the system.
Okay.
It is an unknown system.
Lieutenant Commander Talon, what are we looking at?
And she's going to run a quick scan. This is going to be difficulty 0. Just see how she... Okay.
This is so exciting.
Okay. Here's what Talon tells you.
So come here, cake.
This is a binary system. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it this time.
I roll?
It's a binary system.
Hey-o.
Contains one yellow supergiant, which is orbited by a protostar. Protostars are a sun being formed. It is a sun in its development phase.
A little baby son.
Yep. The protostar is forming from all the gases. It's actually pulling a lot of the gases and fire off the surface of the sun, creating this gorgeous spiral around this big white dot in the center. And it orbits this supergiant, which, by the way, is 971.4 million kilometers in radius, roughly 1,000 times larger than the Earth's sun, about the size of Betelgeuse.
Oh my gosh.
Big supergiant sun.
Jeez.
The protostar that is forming is only about the size of Earth currently, so it's in its infancy.
Wow.
There are 5 non-stellar objects in the system that Sally Ride is able to detect. One is a gas giant, roughly half the size of Jupiter. The other one is a micro-dwarf planet, about the size of Mars, to give you guys... about the size of Pluto. There is one Class 2 comet currently on the edge of the system. There is an asteroid belt that has formed on the very edges of the solar system itself. And there is one barren Class M planet.
Baron.
With extremely high temperatures, but it is the Goldilocks zone for this solar system. The system itself is rather large.
Yeah.
You could probably fit 2 solar systems of our own solar system in this one. And it just so happens there's a planet in the Goldilocks zone of a supergiant. You can only imagine what the sunsets must look like. But the temperatures are very high but totally livable. It looks like the Class M planet that one's roughly the size of Mars, and it looks like it's very windy, sparse vegetation, and mostly rock. But you could beam down there without an enviro suit.
What's the temperature?
Average temperature for us Americans who are still using the freedom units, it's about 95 to 100 degrees. So it's desert.
So
like,
it's
LA.
It's North Hollywood.
It's North Hollywood.
We're going to the valley, everybody. Let's go.
Yeah.
But not Death Valley. It's super livable. Okay.
Yeah.
Ew.
All right, well, get us in close so that we can scan every inch of this
Okay,
freaking
you guys get into
rock.
orbit. A few moments later, Sally enters orbit at full impulse power, and minutes after that, you find yourself in orbit over this M-class planet. There are large oceans on this planet as well. Some of them have an extraordinary depth to them, but there's multiple seas, but one large ocean in particular.
Any life?
Yeah.
What's that?
How much
life?
life?
There is aquatic life, yes.
Awesome.
There is a lot of aquatic
fishing.
life. None of it has been documented before. You guys are picking up all kinds, an array. You guys are picking up an array, a variety of aquatic life. Some of it is extraordinarily large too. We're talking twice the mass of a blue whale. Some of this is, and some of it, schools, huge schools of aquatic life. That if it looks like the primary point of life on this planet is in the oceans.
Yeah. Okay.
And
little big
the
boat.
Sally Ride is detecting an ancient crash site.
Yo, no.
This is miraculous. This is what a jackpot this is.
Let's get
incredible.
something clear. You guys have been rolling like sons of bitches this game. Y'all have been shelling it out, spending burning determination and rolling titanic successes.
Let's be clear. The nerds have been rolling brilliantly. They're carrying the fight.
Although Elisa's probably watching this and going, except for the freaking tractor beam.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Sorry, Lisa.
The computers were still intact.
It's
Yeah,
okay,
that's all we
everything
wanted.
works. The shuttle's gonna need
Just
some,
a small fender bender on a beautiful old shuttle.
Yeah, you still get to restore and all.
I mean,
that.
I threw a high.
Now we get to just fully restore.
So the thing is I threw a high
forward
difficulty
writing.
at you because you damaged
Yeah.
the shuttle, but
Yeah.
that didn't matter. So moving on.
It's true. My mom always used to say, you're going to get into a fender bender. That's just statistically, that's what's going to happen. So you're luckier is if nothing happens. No airbags deploy. Nobody gets hurt. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Same thing.
Oh, that's a good
It
point.
was just a statistical inevitability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah. And that's what you guys find.
Where's
Okay.
the crash site?
I will say there's also an unusual energy signature registering from the ocean as well.
Oh.
What is that?
Talon says, for the first time, you see Talon kind of quirk her head as she continues a deep scan and just goes, unknown.
I don't like that.
I'd like to say that when you said we were approaching the planet, I came onto the bridge for the first time, and I've been in sick bay since the previous thing.
Okay.
I feel you come in. Hey, Dr. Shiros.
What are we going to do about this?
Come in.
This, you said it was a unique energy signature?
Yes. All the Sally Ride is picking up is there is an unknown energy source somewhere at the bottom of one of the deepest part of the ocean.
Energy source.
Energy source.
It's reading like an energy pulse of some kind. Very faint. The Sally Ride is picking it up, and it cannot. The sensors cannot extrapolate what it is or what its source is.
Remember that time we took her swimming, sir?
I didn't get to fly in the water.
I do. Should we go for a dip before we head to the crash site? Lieutenant?
Swimsuit season.
Oh, that's me.
That is you. That's you.
Yeah, didn't you get the memo?
Oh, I'm a little backed up on memos. Congratulations.
Thank you. Captain,
Take us in.
we're going swimming.
Yes.
We're going to, what is it, blue alert?
Yeah.
Condition blue? Oh, look, I'm at condition blue.
Yes, you are.
Can I go bluer? Nope. Nope.
Indigo.
Can I
alert.
go bluer?
Can I go bluer?
Bluer. That's.
Am I blue?
It should have been this, and then I should have done that.
Am I blue?
God, this is,
It's
this is
small
just like the best
indigo.
toy ever.
I know, right?
Okay. So we'll just
Okay.
go blue, blue, blue.
I'd like to pinpoint the source of this unique energy pulse before we set down on this planet. So,
The energy pulse is at the bottom of.
yeah, what I'm
this-
saying, let's go into the
You're gonna
ocean.
go
I
in?
want to figure out what it is.
So we go to condition blue. As Sally Ride goes to condition blue, sensors indicate that the depth of water is roughly about 42 miles underneath the surface of the ocean. So it's not quite as bad as it was on Strethia, where you guys went to what, something like 70 kilometers down. I get my freedom units mixed up, but yeah, roughly about 60 or I'm sorry, 45 miles down at the bottom of the ocean.
Sally could take it.
Yes, Sally can take it.
All right, everybody.
This is an easier dive than Strethia
Yes.
was. It doesn't look like it's near any canyons. It looks like it's on an abyssal plain at the bottom. So literally just a
That doesn't
flat.
make me feel better.
That's the as a former oceanography major. That is.
Yeah,
the
you know what? It's real menacing down in the deep.
It's kind of scary,
Oceans are scary.
especially with all
How
the,
big are these whales exactly? Like
Twice
Twice
the
the size of blue
No,
whales.
I knew that, but like Sally, okay,
They are sizable.
yeah,
They're big.
They're big.
it's gonna be
They're
like an
about
asteroid
200
hitting
to
us.
225 feet long.
Maybe massive
They
would
probably
be a good word. to
massive is
use.
probably the word. They probably average a little over the girth of these animals probably puts them at close to about 200 tons.
Oh wow,
Respectable.
What's that?
Respectable.
There be whales, everyone.
And they look very similar, according to the makeup of the sensors. They do sort of resemble a very girthy, sort of like primitive. I guess I would describe them as sort of a variation of what it looks like, kind of like if you took a plesiosaur and put it on steroids. These things are, they're roughly a little over half the size of a warp nacelle on Sally Ride, right?
Okay.
They're huge,
Yeah.
but they're not going to pose a threat.
Sure.
They'll just make for some incredible sightseeing until the sunlight disappears at the bottom, the water column.
I
All
cannot
right.
wait to take a closer look at some of the amazing scans I'm sure that the Sally Ride is doing right now.
Yeah,
All
she's
this
getting a
aquatic
lot
life.
of information from
Yeah.
the aquatic life. So, Sage, I'm going to need you to make a piloting check.
Okay.
This is going to be daring and control.
you know it.
You are taking her.
Wait,
into
you mean
the
daring and
atmosphere.
con, right?
Daring con, yes. So, So the difficulty here is going to be 3.
Take one. Oh, okay.
Yep, difficulty is
I'm
3.
assuming my focus does apply.
Yes, the focus definitely applies. Flying is what Sage does. All right, Lieutenant, what'd you get?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
There you go. It's just the order of the day.
2 crits.
So you all watch the view screen as you see the red glow of entry as Sally Ride begins to slide into the atmosphere. There's a little bit of turbulence, which the oh my god, I forgot the name of them. Inertial dampeners. Those are no.
sure.
Essentially, the inertial dampeners. Last time I referenced this, I got chewed out
The
by the Star Trek
resonating
community.
field dampener.
Yes,
What
because
is that?
there's a transporter device that actually I was confusing it with last time, but essentially the inertia is dampened and moving up. So you guys enter into the atmosphere, and after the red glow begins to pass away, you slide into clear crystal blue skies. The sun takes up a large portion of the sky. It is, like I said, 1,000 times larger, and even at this distance, it is quite visible along with the protostar in the sky. It's beautiful.
Wish I had cool sunglasses
This
to put on.
planet doesn't look like it's ever been inhabited by any kind of sentient race. It looks like the surface is almost completely uninhabited, save for the crash site, which, by the way, as Sally Ride slides into the atmosphere, sensors are now picking up the remains of 2 organic life forms.
Wow.
Along with some signs of a shuttlecraft and tech that have been left behind. Also, looks like there might be a structure around the crash site. You guys come closer to the ocean. The oceans here are the bluest of blue. These are like pristine, primitive, untouched oceans. And Sally begins to slow to 1/4 impulse, or not impulse, but thrusters, obviously, because 1/4 impulse. So you guys slow on your thrusters. Sally begins to touch down on the surface of the water. And she submerges deeper and deeper, and you watch the waves lap over the top of the view screen, the viewing area of the deck. Just for fun, Talon puts up reverse images, and also you get various images of the Sally Ride slipping under the waves, and then running lights activate, and sensors go up on a full display, and you see vast underwater canyons and ancient primitive like structures of stone just being piled up from like volcanic activity. Sea life scatters from the Sally Ride as she enters into the water column, and she begins to sink deeper and deeper and deeper. Talon, she quirks an eyebrow and activates the external, and you hear the sea life. She puts it on the overhead, and you guys can hear the sea life of this alien world. Some of them sound haunting and slightly terrifying, and some of them are oddly beautiful. Slightly like whale songs, some of the like chirping noises. It almost is like they're having conversations with each other, but Sally Ride's picking up conversations and sounds from thousands of miles. And eventually, She triangulates the view screen to below, and you see in the haze underneath the Sally Ride as you guys are approaching the bottom of the ocean, a faint glowing golden light. Bonnie, you and Talon instantly look at each other. You know exactly what it is.
They must have thrown it in the ocean.
Or it fell out while they were crashing.
Yeah.
It is undoubtedly the Orb of Journeys.
Oh
You
my
know it. You
goodness
feel it in your
gracious.
bones. It's there. Sally begins to get closer and closer and closer, and you see the landing legs just deploy, and Sally comes to a rest. This huge cloud of sand just emanates out, and after a few moments settles underneath the incredible water pressure. And Talon just zooms in on it, and you see a Bajoran orb resting at the bottom of this ocean, glowing brightly. It's like the water around it kind of spins slowly. It's created like the small, like whirlpool effect. Talon is saying, sensors are still not able to make out the source of the energy. It is obviously the object. Sensor lock is difficult, Captain. I can't get a transporter lock either, sir.
So we're gonna have to go out there and get it.
That would be a logical assumption, Captain.
All right. Commander, which one of our shuttles or pieces of equipment would be the safest bet for shooting out there to go pick up this object?
Probably the sturdiest, the Colorado. Named for a river.
It's fitting. Okay, well, I feel like, Lieutenant Commander, since you were scanning this object, and of course our expert helmsman, Lieutenant Sage, you should probably head to this shuttle.
I agree.
To go pick up
Talon
this
says
orb.
almost too eagerly. But then Talon just, yes, Captain.
Yeah. Anybody else you think you would need on your little excursion out there?
It might be helpful to have those who are skilled in engineering with us as well, Captain.
I agree.
Oh, that's me. Yeah, I'll go.
Yes. Okay. Great. Would you need Commander Jiv or?
Perhaps to watch us in case something were to go wrong.
Good. To be the Oracle, the Barbara Gordon, right? Never mind.
Yes.
Okay, so.
A reference.
Yes.
Using a media of comic book, also known as
Yes.
pop culture references.
True, yes. She also had a very successful live action film trilogy, which was great.
Birds
it doesn't
of
matter.
Prey.
Yes. Well, that
curious
was the
title,
first
sir.
one, but then specifically Barbara Gordon herself got the Batgirl and then 2 Oracle films. So that was a separate from the.
And a series of media products, I believe, called video games.
Yeah.
Indicative of early.
Why don't you guys just get on the shuttle? Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
why not?
Captain.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
Wow.
So, walking down to the transporter pad, Jiv stands by, gets on the controls and waits, while the rest of you all move over and head to the Colorado, boarding it up, putting on your
Boy.
Enviro suits.
Lieutenant? Commander? Commander? Lieutenant Commander?
Chief.
And with that, docking clamps unlock as you all begin to move the Colorado at the bottom of this alien ocean towards the Orb of Journeys. That's where we have to stop.
Oh boy!
That was a hell of an episode.
That was awesome.
great.
I just want to say I will not be here next week, so I know.
Yeah, it's rough.
But if anyone's gonna be at Phoenix Comic Con the Thursday night, come see us, and then in Chicago for Comedy Music Festival
Yeah.
for all weekend. But I love you guys, and I'm really sad I'm not gonna be there next weekend because we're going to get the orb.
Yeah.
I'm so excited and I'm so mad at you that you just been keeping this secret for you.
Oh man,
Well,
I've had
stay
that
tuned for Behind the Shield because
We're
we
gonna
got to bug
talk
out right
a
now.
lot about all this, best believe.
Stay tuned for Behind the Shield, and then of course we've got Gather Your Party tonight, which is Gather Your Drama, I believe. So we will see you guys later. Stay tuned for all of that. We'll see you next Friday, and until then, everybody, hailing frequencies are closed.
Yay.